Hello, good evening, and good welcome to Xbox Tavern's Xpod Tavern, episode 142nd on this wonderful Sunday. And it's the time of year where we look back on all the good things and bad things, and we discuss them, and we reveal what have been our favourites of the year. And doing that with me this week is MVP Graham. Come on in. MPV Graham, I got it wrong around. MPV Graham, come in. How are you?
Good festive hello.
Good festive hello, indeed. I enjoy your festive jumper you've got on there.
Yeah, snazzy.
Very snazzy.
And everything.
Is the right word. We've got Milliman in. Wait, sorry. 1.6? Yeah. 1.6
Oh,
million.
Yeah. It's a goal. It's a goal for the new year to get to 1.6. But so far,
Great. This is like 3 weeks on the drop now. He's
I've been disgraceful, haven't I?
absolutely out. But you made up for it with a wonderful jump there. Give us a quick show off.
Okay. I've got 10,000 more to go before I'm on 1.6. Okay.
Well, hopefully by the time next time we speak to each other, we'll be cross that mark. We've also got Scottish Ross. Let's bring him in. Hello, Scottish Ross.
Hello, chaps.
Oh, look at that, majestic. Give us
You.
All right,
Ross. Kiss me.
that's how I roll.
Yes.
You get a plug and a fist tonight.
Meow.
It is the joyous time of year. You know, why not? It's time for and sharing. But it's not just the four of us this week. We finally managed to wrangle him. We've lassoed him in. We've dragged him onto the show. Here he is, our special guest. Pete, come on in. Special guest
Hi.
Pete.
Here.
How are you?
Hello. Yes, thank you. It's good to finally be back on this Sunday evening.
At 8 p.m.
Festive-ish.
Festive-ish indeed.
Ish.
Everyone else is showing off their Christmas tops. Pete, show us your. Yeah, look at that. Getting the representing the Grinch.
Someone has to.
Exactly, damn right. You know, this is a bit too festive for my liking, but on brand. Bit of Xbox festive jumper of goodness.
Game
Right, yeah. So this week is going to be Game of the Year show. We're going to discuss our favourites, probably our least, some of our least favourites, and some honourable mentions and some surprises. I hear there's a game called Starfield that especially guess Pete's been itching to talk about for 3 months. So we'll get to that at some point. I'm sure. But yeah, so gentlemen.
Yes.
Before we kick things off,
Yep.
do you want to do guess a game this week?
Oh, go on then.
Go on then.
Go on then.
Why not?
You get it up, Ross, for me.
Perfect chance to put myself on mute on the wash machine turbo.
So guess a game. If you're not familiar, guess the
Oh, lads,
is
we're in for a treat.
Is a game like Wordle, 6 pictures. Guess the game basically. It's wonderful and it's a lot of fun. We do it every week on the podcast normally to kick things off. So, gentlemen, I'm gonna surprise no one. I forgot and did it this morning.
Oh,
For
why are we
fuck's
doing it?
sake.
Have at it, because I feel ashamed of myself because I really should have got it in one, but I didn't. So, yeah. So I want to show you what to get on with.
You should have got it in one.
I'm feeling some sort of like NBA Street type idea.
Oh, yeah. Really? It's the Jamaican shorts that make it look
That's why I
like
was
Usain
thinking
Bolt or
NBA
something.
Street.
I don't know.
It's not Volta. It's very
Volt. There's no way Jay would have known the
It's
Volta.
too animated. Could be FIFA
Volta,
Street.
yeah.
No, NBA Street more than
But,
FIFA.
and then why would Jay know it's FIFA Street?
FIFA Street? No.
But Jay said he should have got it in one. Why would Jay have got that in one?
What,
That's a good
NBA
point.
or FIFA?
Either.
Yeah,
I mean, in fairness, it does look very much like the edge of a penalty box, so that rules out NBA to me.
All right, go
But
FIFA then.
that's more of a centre circle.
No, it's not a FIFA. I believe that's a basketball. That's not a centre. Is that a centre circle or is that a basketball?
No, it's the edge of the D.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I'm not even sure it's that. It looks like a centre circle bit, but
Yeah,
I think you're right. It looks
my favourite
more like
band's nickname.
basketball than it does football, but it's just, why would Jay get that in one?
Or is that the top of the key in basketball?
That's why I first went to
That's what I
Olympics.
think is a centre circle in basketball.
Yeah.
And the shoes look like Air Jordans. I mean, there's
But for something that for Jay to get, it would be something like NBA Jam or something. But
So we said FIFA Street. What was the other one? What's the basketball version?
NBA Street.
NBA Street or NBA Jam. But I'm not sure Jay played either of those. It's the bloody Jamaican shorts that's put me off. But we need to guess something, so someone has to take charge.
Well, we go
Let's go for
NBA
that top
Street.
one.
I'm going. I'll take charge. NBA Street.
Gentlemen, well done. And the reason I say I should have got it in one is because I looked at it bleary-eyed this morning, and I did what you lot did. I saw the shorts, I saw the trainers, I saw the D for the football, for like the goal fit. And I thought, oh, FIFA Street.
One.
So I just instantly hit FIFA Street, and I was like, oh no, it's a fucking basketball thing, isn't it?
In fairness, you can get no sympathy for the fact that you played it at bleary-eyed o'clock this morning when you know on a Sunday you're a player.
I know, I just forgot.
And you've done it like 3 or 4 times
It's
already.
not like this is the first week we've done it.
It was your idea, and you've done it 3 or 4 times.
There you go. Look at it. It definitely would have given it away there.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I've ever played it.
Have I played it?
Like 2001, bloody hell, 22 years old.
Yeah, I've never played this.
Yeah, I've never played it, but I recognise it. If that makes sense.
I don't remember it.
Yeah. So that was indeed NBA Street, not FIFA Street. Did it say what platform it could come out on? I missed it.
Probably PlayStation.
I guess it was PlayStation and Xbox, but PS2. Back in 2000 and where was it said? 2001. So you go to guesster.game. You can play along. Wonderful little game we play each and every Sunday on this podcast, and each and every day in our Discord, which you can find a link down below. Pluggles already. So, gentlemen, now we've got a bit of a warm up out of the way, bit of a guesser game going on. Should we get into the actual game of the year roundups?
Goodish.
Round of the roundups.
Yes,
Let's do it.
rounds of the roundups. So we've got a few categories. We're all going to do a top 3. We're going to do a couple of honorable mentions. Our favorite Project Game Pass game, biggest surprise and biggest disappointment. We'll fire through them because obviously I was be here for the next 6 hours. But I haven't really thought of an order for us to go in, so I'm just going to go in the order of that you're on my screen. So Scottish Guy Frost, you're up first.
Go for it.
Let's go with your first honourable mention of the year.
So my first honourable mention, I'll get my traitorism out of the way, is Spider-Man 2. So get it out of the way. It's not in my top 3, so I can brush over it quickly.
What did it for you that made it sort of get into the honourable mentions?
The first game was fantastic. It pretty much copies and pastes the first one. Merges in, obviously, having Miles Morales in it as well. Just beautiful looking game, brilliant gameplay. Just love having the different variety of villains that they've got in it. They've added lots more to it in regards to what was in both games. So you've got things like the Prowler missions from Miles Morales, bringing Craven in, having the backstory with like Harry Osborn and stuff like that. So not quite got enough hours into it to maybe justify a sort of big push into the top 3, but it's definitely top 5 for me for games of this year.
Very nice indeed. Very nice. Has anybody else here played Spider-Man 2? I don't imagine you have, but
No.
Graham, I know you're a big PlayStation gamer.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the only one.
I heard the biggest villain was Topher Grace.
Yeah, it's one of those games that's never really interested me in the slightest.
No,
Like,
I
it does
think
look fun, but more like
I must admit, when they launched it, it was sort of sitting in my basket a couple of times. I was like, should I? And like you said, just not really grabbing.
It's never maybe
one day.
pushed over the edge to go, oh, I really want to get it.
Yeah.
And
I think Miles Morales is on PS Plus, so I might subscribe to that one day and have a go and see if that grabs me. And then we'll
he's
go
the
from there.
best Spider-Man. So it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So Spider-Man 2 on the old PS 5? It's only a PS5
PS5.
game, isn't it? It's not PS4.
Yeah, the new one's only PS5, yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool. So that's Scottish Guy Frost's first game, Spider-Man 2. Graham, you're up
Yes.
next. And your first honourable mention of 2023, please.
I had to pick and choose between. I had a couple of honourable mentions. I think because it recently squeaked into it and it wasn't a full game, I'd say the Like a Dragon, the man who erased his name would become in there as my honourable mention. Just because it's not the full game, but it's still pretty awesome. But if it was a full, then it would easily get into the top 3. But yeah, that's my first honourable mention, just because gotta love a Yakuza game, and as it's just awesome. It's everything that the other ones are, and it's a modern day one, and lots of content compacted into what was essentially kind of like a bridge or a taster game, and it's still got plenty of content jammed into it still.
Yeah, well, it still took me nearly 40 hours, I think, to play through it, even though it's a sort of spin-off game. And that was still fucking around a bit, but not too much. And it's a good way to play Daytona 2 for the first time at home as well, which is exciting. And fighting Vipers and something, and Sonic the Fighters as well.
Exactly, a lot of procrastination.
And golf and darts and drinking and mahjong and all sorts of crazy. Anyway, we could talk just the entire fucking show about all the side games in Like a Dragon, but
that's my honourable mention, just because it was awesome for a bridge game. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so first honourable mention there, Like a Dragon, the man who erased his name, and we'll go from there. Ian, your first honourable HM, we'll refer to him from now on, of 2023, please.
Yes, my first one mention. I had 3 honourable mentions, and I was torn between them all, which one I should put. So I would say just missed out, just didn't squeak in. It's Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I just feel that I haven't put enough time in to justify putting it into the top area of my game of the year. I do need to play more, and I think it's one of the games over the Christmas time period I'm actually going to fully invest some time in to play.
You and me both.
Because I feel like it's just such a brilliant game. I loved Breath of the Wild.
You think you're going to have much time to game after the Pokemon DLC comes out?
I thought it was April.
Pokemon DLC comes out the 14th of December.
I read somewhere it was April, but
that's why I tagged you the other day saying 14th of December.
You don't worry about the Pokemon. You can get to that another time.
We'll see.
I mean, Tears of the Kingdom, that game, it looks absolutely amazing, but also too complicated for me. I don't know if you guys saw that video on social media where that guy has like reenacted a Godzilla movie.
I mean, you don't have to go to that extreme, but
I know,
it's very impressive.
Yeah, it's
very impressive.
So I feel like that was just missed out. So again, technically, my third mention will be a bit cheeky, but my main I want to mention is I'm going to go down the indie route and give a special shout out to Teardown.
Teardown.
I think it was one. I think for me, it peaks in more is because I really enjoyed it, and it's something I played with my son, and when he kind of embraces game, and when he's not very much, he loves his game, but he hates losing. So obviously, when these kind of multiplayer games kind of gets really left out, and especially like even co-op ones, he still wants to get the most kills, but obviously you can't kill as many. You have to kill as more than him because obviously you're trying to carry him, and even then when you're carrying him, he gets upset. Whereas Teardown is just pure destruction, and you take it in turns. He seems to be like that. Especially like he'll like destroy everything for me, and then I have to go and do all the objectives. So again, for me, it was a nice bonding experience with my son playing that game and playing through it with him. So for me, Teardown definitely gets an honorable mention, just purely because of the physics-based engine and how much destruction you can do and how much fun we both had playing it together.
Very nice indeed. Very nice indeed. I did share the press release with you the other day, but they're actually looking at adding my online multiplayer now, even though they said initially they weren't because it was obviously really complicated. So yeah, maybe one day we could actually jump in together and smash some shit up.
Watch you burn everything and then me trying to put it out.
Me burn everything down and you and Tyler doing all the good stuff. Nice. So Teardown, Ian's first honourable mention. Special guest Pete, welcome back to the show. How are you?
I am fantastic, thank you. It's been
Please
a while.
Give me HM1, please.
So like Ian, I had kind of 3 honourable mentions. I managed to get 2 in there. My third honourable mention is going to go into my biggest surprise category. I know, right? Cheeky. I'm actually quite impressed with my top 5 because I've got like 5 different genres as well. So I'm quite impressed with myself here as well. But I should probably get on with it, shouldn't I? My first one is going to be Miasma Chronicles. Game that was released earlier in the year. It's a kind of tactical turn-based game. I gave it a 7.9 when I reviewed it, but for some reason, it's even though I wanted to play new games, it keeps on. You know, when a game's kind of calling to you, play me again. It's doing that, even though I only gave it a 7.9. And then when I thought Game of the Year, it was the first game that came to my head for some reason, even though the games I'm going to speak about later are better and I perform more. For some reason, Miasma Chronicles just kind of was the first the first one I thought of. And the social media team are really friendly. I literally put a tweet out or an X out, whatever it's called, and said, really enjoyed Miasma Chronicles, finished it, even like a month or two after release. And they replied saying, "Oh, glad you enjoyed the game, blah, blah." And I was rating an issue about, I think, achieve but not popping, which stemmed with the quick resume feature. But yeah, Miasma Chronicles is my first honourable mention.
That will make me very angry on Unobtainables.
Damn you, achievements!
Yes, I know the size of it, but quick resume seems to be foiling quite a few games at the moment.
Yeah, it does. I feel like, especially the ones that have a sync to an online service.
Yeah.
The worst one, I never understand, and they still have it to this fucking day. It's Apex Legend on quick resume. It's absolutely pointless because you need to be an online service.
Yeah, but same as Fortnite does it, Call of Duty does it, they all do it.
So why have a quick resume? Because I can't even play the game. It takes longer for me to log into the game with quick resume than it does without quick resume.
Yeah, it's the same with FIFA as well. It's just ridiculous. It's just like you're just dragging me back to the main menu. There's fucking no reason for this.
The only reason you get to see the EA Sports is in their game. It's like you're ruining the best bit.
Exactly, fuckers.
You got to set the mood, didn't you, for playing a bit of EA Sports FC? EA Sports, nice. Okay, so Miasma Chronicles, was that special guest Pete?
Yep, Miasma Chronicles.
Nice. So on slight tangent, one of the reasons Lake got it in that year was the same as you. It just one of them games that sort of jumped to the top of the list, no matter what. Even though I played technically better games, it was one of them games that just kept coming back to my memory every time.
It's one of those games I feel like, was I harsh giving it 7.9? But then when I read back through my review, and I was like, oh yeah, that's what I get. I docked it like some points.
Yeah, we can go read his review on xboxtam.com right now. Right, my turn then. HM1 by Ross. Like you guys were saying, I had a list. I've been keeping track of all the games I've completed this year.
Does Ross know something about Jay's next pick, which is why he's gone? Do I need to leave as well?
Is it Football Manager and he's got Ross off the fate?
Yeah. I had a good 12 games that I could have been anywhere on this list at the minute. And I was going through them all. It's been very hard to cut them all out, but I've done my best to. I'm sure if you ask me tomorrow, the entire list will change. But right now, my first honourable mention is the Tartarus Key, which was a Resident Evil style, like PS1 Sega Saturn presented, like psychological horror puzzle game, and I had a bloody great time with it, as you would imagine. It was weird. It had a weird setup of like individual puzzle rooms you had to solve to save people, and depending on how many people you save, you change the ending. It had weird sort of psychological horror moments to it. And the way it was presented again was like a Saturn game, so all the textures and models were warping and clipping, and it all looked really old school, even though there was a lot of actually quite impressive stuff going on. And yeah, I just had a bloody brilliant time. There was a lot of good horror games this year, as we'll get to, but that was one of the ones that almost made the top 3, but I had to bump it down just because the other ones were ever so slightly more preferable for me. So that's my one, the Tartarus Key. Again, you can go read most of these reviews on xboxdam.com right now. That'd be wonderful. If you want to do us a favour, that'd be lovely. Ross, are you ready? Are you back?
That's good timing, actually.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I was vamping just in case, and you did.
I was trying to run away just in case it was Lake.
But you mix up the orders. Don't go back.
Well, I was thinking we'll mix it up. We'll go around the same way this time, and then because we've got quite a few categories, and then I'll mix it up after this one. So Ross, we're going to move on to our favourite Project Game Pass game of this year. If you're not familiar, Project Game Pass is a big game from Game Pass each and every month. We play it, we discuss it, we rate it roughly on the podcast, and then we move on. So
I feel like there could be a bit of repetition in this one.
Yeah, possibly. We've played I
hope so, anyway.
We'll see. We've played.
Well, if anyone has the same
whopping,
as Ross, say now.
Yeah,
makes sense.
We've had a whopping 11 games we've played this year for Project Game Pass, obviously, because we are now in December. There's been some really good ones, some not so good ones. But Ross, tell us what is your favourite
tragic ones.
Yeah, again, which we'll get to later on. What was your favourite Project Game Pass game of 2023?
To absolutely no one's surprise, I'm going to say it was Exoprimal. Probably a game I would not have touched had it not been for Project Game Pass. Picked it up, absolutely fucking loved it. When we had our sessions playing it, I think it's one of the few ones where we put fucking at least. I mean, that first night that we properly jumped into it, we put a good three and a bit hours into it. got into the customization, loved the. I mean, it was quite repetitive in regards to what you had to do, but it was that enjoyable when you were doing it. That was really the main thing. Going up against some of the big bosses that came, so obviously once you leveled up a wee bit more. Still no idea what the story is. Still not a fucking Scooby what happens in the story. All I know is big ass dinosaurs come through big ass portals and big ass guns shoot the big ass dinosaurs, and Jay runs around setting fire to everything.
Damn right. And every now and then, some smarmy fucking woman on the boat on the ship like gives you a snarky comment,
And
about doing something wrong,
also,
and then move on.
back to the point of Jay runs around, sets fire to everything, and completely defeats the purpose of having a healer on his team because he's on the other side of the fucking map.
Damn right, baby.
There's me,
Damn right.
I will stick up for you,
that's
and don't
usually the
worry.
healer.
I will
Yeah.
stick up for you.
always chasing Jay.
I tried my best, but
You
I'll
have
try my
to
best.
fucking stay away from the healing circle.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. So did anybody else have Exoprimal on their list?
I almost did. I didn't pick for that one in the end.
I'm kind of surprised Ross didn't choose something else, but I'm guessing it's because it's in another part of the show.
Yeah, so that's Ross's first Project Game Pass. Favorite Project Game Pass game of 2023, Exoprimal, which we played. Was it April? Was it?
I've got it down as July. So July was when it
Yeah,
launched.
just how far the year has fucking flown by. Feels like just yesterday. Yeah, that was a good game. Very good game. It's one of the few, like you were saying, Ross, that I've actually gone back and played, not just on my own, but I think with Ian a little bit as well,
Yep.
like separately, even outside of Project Game Pass. So yeah, it's a good game. Graham,
Yes.
drop me your favorite Project Game Pass game from the list we played this year, please.
So the one I chose was probably the most I just had the most fun with playing, and that was with yourself. Trying to solve some mysteries and get out of a certain room. It was Escape Academy. So, I mean, we had...
this year?
Was that on Project Game Pass this year?
That wasn't Project Game Pass.
Was it not?
Not
No.
this
It
year.
was Project Game Pass, but I don't know when
Damn
it
it, Graham.
It wasn't this year.
Was it not? That's right, I saw it on this year's one. I went
Well,
back
no, because
to
I
it.
did the live stream with Dan of it last year,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it was
was.
last year.
There's a handy list on the website.
Yeah, no, I went
just
through that
scroll
link.
back
That's
through.
why I was looking through them all. I swear that was in there for this
So in
year.
which case, Gray's one is Exoprimal.
Yeah. It was between those two. And that's one, yeah.
Oh yeah, Escape
it's-
Academy was August 2022.
Okay, I must have read that list wrong. But yeah,
Getting on,
okay.
Gray.
Then I guess, well, no, I just read the list wrong, clearly. But yeah, well, it's fun. Extra Primal was a very close second because it was something that we all played together and enjoyed quite a lot together, and it was kind of good fun. Like I said, trying to pronounce some of the dinosaurs that they kind of liked, and getting dogs abuse from Zordon from Power Rangers.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, as I was saying, funky skins, good shooting dinosaurs, and yeah, it was one of the good times that we had playing all together. It's probably one of the better ones. So yeah,
Damn right
I
it
guess
was.
I seconded with Exoprimal then.
Nice. So Ross and Graham picking Exoprimal. I mean, again, we've only got 11 games, but that's a healthy majority already out of the five of us. Nice. Ian,
Hello.
favorite Project Game Pass game for this wonderful year of 2023?
So for me, you know me, I lost my Project Game Passes late.
Obviously,
Still
yeah.
play them. And for me, it was torn between two.
If you
but
say Deathloop, I'm going to reach.
It's going to be Deathloop.
it is
not-
Deathloop. Deathloop was January, so it's definitely this year.
It's not the one I thought you would have went for, if I'm honest.
I was torn between Cassette Beast because I did really like that.
Yeah.
As well.
Cassette Beast is who I had you pegged in for going.
Yeah, Cassette Beast was brilliant and so much fun, but Deathloop was just fucking fantastic. And
It is very good.
yes, it took me a while to play it for it, but when I actually finally put some time aside and just sat down and play it, the next thing I know, it's nearly 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, shit, what the fuck's happened? And that's when you know it's a good game because you're just constantly not forgetting about time. You're just playing, and the fact that I did everything all pure stealth as well for me. Love my stealth games and get for all the bosses, killing them all, pure stealth, not being seen, just killing them. Made it fantastic, and I love the whole storytelling between you can kill different people in the different areas, but there's only one perfect way to do it. I did the perfect way.
Damn right. Deathloop is a great game. Fucking tremendous game. Absolutely tremendous game.
It was. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I've got nothing else. Nothing more glowing to say than that, apart from the one I've got to pick, obviously. But let's go to Special Guest Pete. Go on, drop.
I mean,
Drop
do
it
you know,
in.
I didn't have a good time at Project Game Pass this year for some reason. The multiplayer games I couldn't get involved because you seem to play on days I'm not available. You know, that's no
I mean,
one's
we don't do it on
really.
purpose, obviously.
No, I can say it's no one's fault. You know, I got a feeling it might have been Jasant, but I ended up not being able to play it because I was reviewing other games and doing other stuff. I almost went with Starfield, but then I was like, we did FIFA. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I know I didn't finish my games, but I really enjoyed that month of playing FIFA with each other, doing a little kind of inside Xbox Tavern tournament. I'd quite like to do that again, maybe in a different game.
What was the score between you and Ross again? I forget.
Me and Ross, 0-0.
3-3. It was a game that got called off due to too many red cards.
Right, okay, yeah.
Well, that you're too busy.
So your favorite? Go on.
Yeah, I'll say FIFA just because I think it was a different take on what we're doing on the Project Game Pass. And it was a bit of fun. Everyone got involved. Everyone was playing their matches. Even Dan got involved, for Christ's sake. You know, when Dan gets involved, you know it's a good. You know, it's a fun time. So I'll have to go
Indeed.
FIFA 23 on mine.
Nice. And I don't know if the clips ever made it up to YouTube, but if they have, go check them out. If not,
I think Daniel's sketching them for 2025.
Keep pestering us, and we'll get them up at some point. So nice. So let me have a quick recap here. We've got Ross. I've already forgotten what he said. Exoprimal. Same with Graham. Ian Deathloop. Special guest Pete. FIFA 23.
If you say Jasant, you're getting kicked out of the program.
1-2. Jasant. Yes, that is indeed my favourite Project Game Pass game this year.
I knew it.
We've had a tremendous list, as you guys have said. I mean, you've all made strong cases for Exoprimal and Deathloop as well.
Did you actually have more fun playing Jasant than you did Exoprimal?
Yes, because it was just.
Ugh.
Well,
I want whatever you're on.
Fun.
Yeah, that's not
Say more.
He's
fun.
old. Man, so
the goosebumps are coming out.
When I think back, I mean, Exoprimal was a lot of fun. Again, Deathloop was a lot of fun. The FIFA tournament was a lot of fun, surprisingly. But Jasant has just got that extra little something that makes me all tingly down below.
Is it sort of the right pace for your age?
Exactly. I need something a bit slower paced with some nice, bright, colourful visuals and no reading, so I haven't got to stress myself out.
That tingly down below is what I feel playing Jasant.
Yes, it was a wonderful time. Very much enjoyed it, and I would love to have more people on my side, but clearly I'm on my own. It's fine. I'm allowed to. I'm used to it. It's fine. So Jasant is my favourite Project Game Pass game. Again, we've had some great games. We've had some not so great games, which we'll get into in one of the categories later on. I'm sure.
So does that mean Exoprimal wins the award for Project Game Pass of the Year?
I mean, by default, 2 out of 5 votes, and all the rest are split. I think it has to. Well done, Exoprimal. You are officially Xbox Tavern's Project Game Pass
Game of the Year.
Well done. Congratulations. Maybe we should have a game to celebrate at some point. Because they've just updated it with some new characters and like Street Fighter crossover stuff, I think. But I'm not entirely sure.
As long as there's
anyway.
I was going to get pummeled each time.
Yeah. Right, gentlemen. Before we move into our second honourable mention, I feel like we need a bit of a pluggle from Ross.
Oh, I've not got my pluggles up, Jay.
Come on, give me. I need some plug-in. I need some fucking power to get through this.
Let me get my pluggles up. Fill the air while I get my pluggles.
So, special guest Pete, we haven't spoke to you for a while.
Yeah.
Without sort of ruining your list that we've got going on here, what have you been up to in the intervening months in terms of gaming? Anything particularly you want to shout out that's not on your list?
No. That's all the list.
Fair enough.
Do you know what? For anyone got Game Pass out there with Ultimate and you've got young kids, I actually played through Unravel 2 with both my kids, one after the other.
Unravel, such a good
Unravel
game.
2, obviously, it's like a few years old, but if you've got a Game Pass Ultimate and you've got kids, it's a fantastic game to play. One was 8 and one was 11. They both loved it. I let them take the lead when it came to trying to solve the puzzles, and I gave them the hand when they got a bit stuck. I got stuck a few times. But if you've got kids and you've got Game Pass Ultimate, go play Unravel 2.
Nice. That's a great game. I think Ian was... Did you say you were playing it recently, Ian? Was it you or Graham? One of you was saying it recently.
No, I played It Takes Two recently.
It Takes Two is another one that is fantastic to play.
Yeah, but I don't think that one's child
Has
friendly.
everyone played it here or not?
No, it's pretty child friendly. It's mostly just sort of jumping and a wee bit of problem solving,
yeah.
but it's not like
There's problem solving,
Yeah,
but it's
not
not like
massively.
I'm talking about
Unravel.
like language and stuff, you know.
Oh no, it's
you
12.
do have to deal with the world's most annoying book, but apart from that, it's fine.
Anyway. So yes, I'm Rebel. It takes two great choices. Ross, give us a quick plug, and then we'll move on, and I'll decide who's going to go next.
Oh, you deciding? He's putting his authoritarian stamp down.
Fucking two right.
So patreon.com/Xbox Tavern. If you want to jump over and support us with our hard-earned cash, you can support. Oh no, wrong hand. You can support us by scanning the QR code just up in the corner. That'll take you directly over to our Patreon. Less money than a cup of Costa a week. Be fantastic.
And
Helps
far
us do
more
all-
enjoyable, obviously.
Far more enjoyable because Costa's coffee's shit unless they want to sponsor us, and then they're the best coffee. Yeah, jump over, support us, helps us manage to keep the podcast going, helps us do all these wee graphics and things like that we do on the show. It'd be greatly appreciated. Apple and Spotify podcasts, if you could jump over there, leave us a wee comment, what you like and what you don't like about the show. 5-star review would be greatly appreciated, helps us get more exposure. Written reviews can be found at xboxtavern.com. Jay will have a list in the show later on, won't you, James?
Yes, probably. Would you call me?
James.
That's what you.
Socials run all on the bottom of the screen. You can find us various different places in some way, shape, or form of at Xbox Tavern or at Xbox Tavern Official. As Jay was saying earlier on the show, in the show notes you will see our Discord link. If you want to jump over there, shoot the shit with us, do the guess the game that we do. Any of the Pokemon fans in there, we're starting to drop in our Pokedoku ones that are going up. I know Jay and Gray don't like us putting up on the show because they just have to sit there very silent. Or maybe, I know we could probably slip one in later on in the show just when Jay's talking about Lake. And last but no means least, Insert Coin, wonderful folk over there who do some outstanding gaming apparel. If you want to use promo code XBTIC23 for 10% off, they are doing a promotion just now that won't include this code, but you're getting a free hat. But Jay didn't want to sign up for because he didn't know if it was going to be a skip hat or a beanie. But you are getting a free hat with any order over £50. Am I right in saying?
£50, yeah.
Yep. So jump over there, have a look at their stuff. They've got games, Persona, Gears, Mass Effect, Last of Us, Resi, loads of different games, usually all the big ones that people know and love.
Indeed. Great clothes, great site, wonderful people. Go support them and support us as well. That'd be wonderful. Thank you very much. All right, I've decided. Are you ready? Jan!
Hello.
Drop me your honourable mention number 2, please.
Honourable mention number 2 is one of the greatest games of all time, and it's all combined into a lovely, beautiful collection, and that is Metal Gear Solid Collection. I'm going to be, so I'm going to twindle it and say, even though it didn't come out this year, the games didn't come out this
Well, the
year.
collection was released this year, so it counts.
The collection was released this year, so therefore it counts. And for me, my favourite Metal Gear is obviously controversial, is number 2. But I love playing through number 2 and playing number 1 again. Haven't started number 3 yet, but it's just such a brilliant storyline, and I hope they bring out 4 soon for the collection. Even though that's very long and you can fall asleep during the cutscenes because they're so fucking long.
The thing that kept Metal Gear off my list was, one, they're all separate games. It wasn't under one umbrella, a bit like Final Fantasy did and all that. But also they didn't do any upspuff into number 1. Obviously, you got the HD version of number 2 and number 3, but number 1 was just, there you go. There's
number 1 was very, surely...
Here's the original PS1 version. I was like, what? But they've already released kind of things on Steam and that with visual upgrades. I'm like, why have they just put the...
Yeah, exactly. You've got the Twin Snakes version from GameCube, which obviously is the Xbox version. Why didn't they do that?
Yeah.
That annoyed me. See, when I seen it was
that's
all
that's what kept Metal Gear off my list because of that. Just I couldn't put it in there because of that.
Yeah, no.
I was saying
on a munch.
Couple of shows back, I've never, sounds terrible, but I've never played a Metal Gear Solid game in its entire, I started it, couldn't get any of the idea of it, but I was only young when I started it. I think that soured the experience for me. Had that collection had some sort of upspuff done to it, I would have probably picked it up and played it. But then when I seen it and it was basic PS1 graphics, I was like, I'm not going to jump back into that.
That does a bit of letdown, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, had it been even just a slight upspuff, it would have been worth
Yeah.
jumping into. But the fact that it's literally just and then
Well,
stuck
that's the
on
thing.
your
There
screen.
are more Opsmuth versions out there. They just
Exactly.
gave us the
The basic bitch version.
But I
They
think
could
it was, I think Ian,
re-release a collection with a decent version in 10 years' time. The ultimate.
That's
ultimate
Konami.
version.
But I think Ian was quite surprised. I think he's supposed to be like, hang on, Metal Gear 1 is a lot shorter than we remember. But I think
Yeah.
because we know what we're doing. It's like, oh, it took like 4 hours to complete. I thought it took about 20 hours the first time.
Yeah, first time took you fucking ages. And like, hang on a second, this is really quick.
Was it Metal Gear 2 that you were telling me about? That was it an hour and a half cutscene? Did you say?
Oh, that's like 4.
Oh, 4, sorry.
Yeah, that's at the end, isn't it? Pretty much.
In Metal Gear,
That's-
the longest Metal Gear cutscene is probably like 22. It's still 22 minutes, but yeah, it's still quite long, like 20 to 25 minutes.
That's
for cutscene.
mental.
But that's the end one, though, isn't it? Metal
Towards
Gear's
the end,
pretty-
yeah. Towards the end, yeah.
Yeah.
But still, brilliant game, especially 2. I love 2. I love the fact that it was 2 also it's just nostalgia as well. It gets my bug. And also, Graham's favourite stealth.
Ugh.
Right.
Yeah, but
Don't
you don't,
kill
technically
anyone,
don't
the
have
whole
to stealth,
game.
though. You technically don't have to stealth, do you? You can
No, you
just
don't.
go in guns blazing. So
But
Get in
that's
the
a little
cardboard
bit more
box.
Pure. You get pure stealth, didn't get seen, didn't kill anyone because you used the tranquilizer and stuff. It's just majestic.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It
I
is.
did it. I didn't kill anyone either, but I also didn't play it.
Okay,
You didn't want to kill yourself.
100%
You're
record.
part of the way towards stealth there. It's good. Keep it up. Keep it up. All right. Well, let's move on to you then, Graham. Let's go around this way this time. Tell me your honourable mention number 2. Oh,
Fine.
he's torn. He's torn. Look at him. He
Tom
can't
between a
decide.
few of them. Yeah. All right, I'll pick this one.
You can't say them
Immortal-
ones you've got.
Immortals of Avium would be my other honourable mention.
Oh, good shout.
Ooh, nice.
It graphically amazing, story pretty decent as well, and yeah, the gameplay just a neat take on sort of magic involved in sort of an RPG action game. It's quite cleverly well done. Let down by the fact its timing was a bit off. I think it was like a month or so delayed, and that really kind of cramped its style and sort of held it back. But it's
Did
still
that not throw it pretty much into the window of Baldur's Gate and Starfield?
exactly that,
Yeah,
right into it, straight to the thing.
Bit of shit time of launch.
Yeah, because if it did that month earlier, I think it would have done so much better because it was a pretty decent game.
It
I
was a
think-
good game.
After hearing the hype that you and Jay gave it, I think the only thing holding me back for it was a full sort of £70 game. And that was like, I don't know enough about you to justify forking out a £70 game.
Yeah. Well,
But-
they've come out recently and they say because obviously they're to let a load of people go. It hasn't done very well, and I think it's on sale at the minute, or was on sale for Black Friday. I'm not sure, but they've said that they're trying to get it into Game Pass.
Yeah, I mean, if
So
it goes in Game
hopefully-
Pass, I will definitely.
Oh, yeah,
Judging on
definitely.
what you said about it, it sounds fantastic. But I was just a bit hesitant to drop £70 on it, and then also when it first got the initial release of all the hype behind it, I was consumed with Starfield. So
Yes.
Yeah, no,
Very-
if it's in
very
Game
good.
Pass, definitely worth having a taste of it, see what you think. Just because, yeah, that's, I mean, if you like kind of RPGs, you like a bit of magic and action, you can't go wrong. And it feels like a proper AAA game, the way it kind of looks and voice acting, everything that goes along with it. It's pretty decent.
Yeah.
But yeah, just
Yeah.
not in the top 3.
No, it had me hooked, and it was one of the ones I'd consider for my honourable mentions. But as I said, there were so many, I had to make some cuts somewhere, and that one didn't quite make it. But yeah, really,
If
really
you've been
enjoyed
dishonoring
it.
yours, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Well, I mean, if it had been in Project Game Pass, it might have tipped it. You never know. You never know. Probably not. Anyway, Ross,
I'm
give
sure
me
we
your
get
honourable mention.
more angles with
second.
Jay's other picks soon. So.
yeah,
Exactly.
I can imagine.
We got plenty more games to pick here for you to get upset about. Don't worry.
I'm going to a wee bit left field, and I don't know if it's my nostalgia kicking in or if it was actually just because it was a good game. But I've went for EA PGA Tour. It was the first time EA's picked it back up recently. It's been a long time since they've done their golf sort of simulator. They've lost the market to, well, it was the golf club, and now the sort of newer ones that they've got out as well. But it was good to see EA jumping back into it. It feels fantastic to play. Having the official courses is a big get for them, especially with the fact that you had like Augusta and stuff like that. So if you wanted to jump in and play the Masters, you had the course there, the old course at St Andrews, another sort of historic course that you default to when you play golf games. But it was just nice for EA to get back into it. Probably doesn't have the same the same gravitas as when it had the Tiger Woods name attached to it. I know they had a rough time when they put sort of Rory McIlroy as the figurehead for it, but it was nice to be back playing the EA golf games. The much more simulator type idea than it is much more arcadey type feel, than the sim idea of what the golf club was, where there was a lot less just pick up and play. You really had to learn the mechanics in the golf game type ideas.
So is this the old Tiger Woods franchise, the EA one?
Pretty much, yeah.
They went to Rory McIlroy and now they've gone blank, have they?
So they're just EA. Yes, everyone's just getting tired. And Madden's going to be the next one. EA NFL 24 or whatever it's going to be. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a pleasant surprise as to how good it was. It was possibly going to be one of my biggest surprises, and then I got a wee memory from something that Pete actually said, and that has snuck in as big surprise instead. So it snuck into the honourable mentions.
Very nice indeed. I feel like we probably could have guessed most of what we picked so far, but I don't think anyone would have guessed PGA.
No,
I did say it came out of left field. I did say it was left field.
Yeah, it was.
That's
Golf
definitely left field.
much better though.
Nice. Right, special guest Pete, tell me about your second honourable mention.
So my excuse me, my second honourable mention is Formula One Manager 2023.
To the shock of absolutely no one.
Hey, look, it's an honourable mention.
It's in the honourable mentions, not
It's an honourable mention. Do you know what? I gave it a 9.5 when I reviewed it. It is an absolutely fantastic game. Lots of quality of life upgrades from the previous year. Tons and tons of replayability. It's a game that just keeps on giving and giving. If you're on PC, you've got mods to kind of have a bit more fun with it and there. It's on Game Pass now, actually, as well. So if you like your Football Manager type games, your spreadsheet type of games, it's definitely give it a try. Only thing I would say is obviously the races, you can't just sim in 5 minutes. You know, you're there for at least 20 minutes per race. It's
as well.
It's I mean, graphically. Sorry?
They can do the same game because all the drivers are the same for next year.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, the biggest thing that they done for an improvement was, as you say, Pete, putting it in the Game Pass. That is the perfect Game Pass game to get people invested in it.
Yeah, I mean, graphically, it's amazing. You know, these sort of games, like Foot Manager, right? Foot Manager isn't friendly to consoles, but I'd argue that playing F1 Manager on console is as easy, if not better, than it is on PC, because the buttons are just so easy just to fluid between and press what buttons you want. It's fantastic. Whether you want to take Red Bull to a title and sack off Max, because I did that. I did a season where I won the title with Red Bull, just blitzed it. But then at the end of the season, I basically just signed Red Bull all the worst drivers and mechanics and stuff. So season 2, Red Bull had like Sophia Flourish and Lewis Hamilton in their car, and because of that, Mercedes signed Max Verstappen. So it was Max Verstappen and George Russell and Mercedes. It was, it's you can create your own little universe and what you want to do. I think it's just a fantastic game. You know, if you like Formula One, I know it's weird because Formula One is a massive global sport. You know, the 2021 finale Abu Dhabi final drew more viewers than the Super Bowl. So it's a massive worldwide thing. But when it comes to the video games, it seems to be a bit of a niche, which is a bit of a weird thing. But yeah, if you're on Game Pass, give it a go. I'd highly recommend it. It takes a bit to get stuck in to understand, you know, what's going on and what you can do to change things. But yeah, it's fantastic. As a Formula One fan, it's fantastic. Yeah,
I agree with Pete. It's a really good game. And like I played it as well and I enjoyed it. I did ask Pete for some help, which he gave me some help with some of the setups, because that's very confusing for me. But again, there's so much resources online that can help you with that kind of situation. But yeah, I think I did similar to Pete. I like made my own little world. Like I sacked up Perez because he's a twat. I got into George Russell. And then I had Max and Russell just tearing it up. And then the second season, I got rid of Max. I think I put in Stroll for a laugh, and then he went to Aston Martin. Yeah, a bit of fun.
So the wee query for both of you in regards to something that Pete just mentioned there is both of you have played F1 Manager and Football Manager. and obviously, as Pete was saying, it doesn't translate very well to the console for Football Manager. Do you think that FM could learn from how Formula One Manager have put their game into console and make the console version of Football Manager a better experience based on some of the things they take from F1 Manager?
I honestly think they could because, obviously Football Manager, you've got all your tabs down the side, right? F1 Manager has it all down the bottom, and all you got to do is press, left bumper or right bumper just to switch in between. And obviously F1, Football Manager is more detailed. There is a lot more detail in Football Manager.
Yeah, there's too much detail in Football Manager where there's a lot less detail in F1.
They could learn a bit, but I still think it wouldn't, be optimal, shall we say.
I think they'll have to dumb down Football Manager to make it a level of Formula 1, which doesn't make sound insult, but it's not because...
Well, that's the thing. Even with the console version, it's still clunky to play, isn't it? I still won't play the console version because it's just...
But I think that's the issue you get with, certainly, Football Manager fans. They don't want a watered-down version of the game, even though by watering it down, it would make it better to play on the console. Yeah. So they can't get what they want on both sides, so they need to either sacrifice some of the ideas so they can get a more streamlined version, or they have to just accept to get more action-packed stuff into it. They have to take this really clunky version.
Yeah. There we go.
Nice. So, F1 Manager
2023.
Nice. Right, my final honorable mention, and this, again, like I said, there were so many games, and it might surprise you. It is Resident Evil 4.
Shock horror.
The fact that it's made it into the
didn't you give it like a 10 out of 10?
Is interesting.
So it was. But I'm going to be honest. Between this and my number 3 pick, it was neck and neck. And even sitting there looking at it now, I'm like, have I done it the right way around? Like I said, tomorrow, if you ask me, you'd probably change my mind. But at the moment, I've gone for Resident Evil 4. Obviously, Resident Evil 2 was my game of the year whenever it was released. I forget the year now, 2019. Something like that. But because this was a remake,
I don't get how that
was and it didn't. It changed a lot, but it didn't change as much. I don't feel as Resident Evil 2. And it was still a really, really good game. Just there's been so many awesome games and awesome new games this year, which is most of my list, I must admit. So, yeah. So for me, purely because I've played it before, everybody knows it's already great. It makes the honorable mention slot instead of one of the top 3, even though again it was very close and it could very well have swapped around. So yeah, and plus the DLC was awesome as well.
At the risk of potentially committing podcast suicide here,
I can carry on talking about Resident Evil if you like.
Well, that's what I was just about to ask. With the news of new Resident Evil games coming out, what do you think of the potential of 5/6 getting a remake?
I mean, they might make them good. So
5 was fantastic. You shut your filthy mouth.
They've done the original. Have they done the original yet? Like a full-up swap of it?
Yeah,
on the GameCube.
Twice have they not?
Yeah, not like this version. So I'd like to see them do the first one like in this style.
Did they not do the first one as a DLC in number 5?
No,
you went back to the mansion.
Called? Yeah, it was only a short thing. It wasn't the full game. It was like a spin-off thing. It wasn't like a.
I remember you definitely went back to the mansion in one of the newer games.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I'd love them to do 5 or 6 because I'm a Resident Evil mark, and it doesn't matter what they remake. If they put it out, I'll buy it and play it.
Maybe Revelations, because Revelations is actually quite good. But
Revelations was fantastic.
Revelations is good. As is Revelations.
Code Veronica.
Code Veronica as well. That's the next. That's the one that they should do next because that's the one that's really in need of a.
What was the one that was the light gun?
You got Umbrella Chronicles and Dark Side Chronicles on the
wall. Yeah, not Umbrella Chronicles.
Games as well. Anyway, we could talk about Resident Evil all night, but we haven't got all night. so I appreciate you asking there, Ross. We'll come back to this very soon. Hopefully they'll announce more remakes and we can, or will we indeed? Right, gentlemen. While
Ian strips.
While Ian strips, let's just have a quick sort of housekeeping moment. You can go read a lot of these reviews. I know you've done the housekeeping already, but I just want to say you've got a lot of reviews and stuff up at xboxtavern.com, and some of which are getting it in the way earlier now. We had a review called Alina of the Arena review go up by AJ. It's like a card-based and turn-based strategy game. He gave it a 7 out of 10. The review I couldn't talk about last week was Turok 3 Shadow of Oblivion. Gave it a 5 out of 10.
I wish that was good, man. I loved the
Yeah, I mean, it's not. If you like Turok, if you played it before, you'd probably be all right. And I've played some Turok before, but mainly multiplayer. But I got through it, and it only took a few hours because obviously it's a shorter, older game. But there was nothing about it that made me go, "Yes, I can't believe I got to play this sort of again." Like in the modern day, it was more. It's like I remember. Really, it's all right, I suppose. Whoa, what have you got down there, Ian?
I genuinely thought that was a Pokemon T-shirt.
I was like, Pokemon or Tinykin?
I think it's. I don't know. I got it from was Insert Coin.
Oh,
one of those lucky.
genuinely.
Might be Animal Crossing. I'm not sure if they've done any.
Oh yeah, it could be Animal Crossing. Yeah,
Don't know.
I can't really see. Yeah, you get closer to the camera.
Those are animals.
Sidetracked.
Are they wearing fancy clothing?
No, just weird, quirky animals.
Fair enough.
There we go.
Fair enough. Well, while we figure out what Ian's been wearing from Insight Coin, I forgot what I was doing. Reviews, yeah, go check them out on Xbox Tavern. We haven't had many go up this week because it's been a bit quieter, obviously. I think the only other one that's gone up this week has been... actually, got a couple, sorry. SteamWorld Build from Corey and your Warhammer Age of Sigmar Realms of Ruin review, Pete. I don't think that was up
last week, didn't it? Yeah.
Did it go up last week? I can't remember.
I think it was last week, yeah.
Yeah, very good game.
I've never met a franchise that I would so desperately want to get into, but I'm so terrified to try. I do not even know. I don't even know where to start.
And there's about 500 Warhammer games released this week.
There is
fucking unreal.
I had the same feeling as you, Ross, but as I put in my review, I thought, oh my god, it's Frontier. It's going to be good. Because you know, Frontier make F1 Manager, they make Zoo Tycoon, they made Jurassic World Evolution. So I was like, I trust them to look after me, and they did.
I've also discovered that I have a Warhammer shop quite local to me, and I'm so tempted to walk in, but I feel like if I ever walk in, I might not walk back out again.
We have one of those in Woking. I always was like, ooh.
Yeah, well,
where
like
you are is local,
wanna...
like within 300 miles.
Yeah, across the border down into...
I'm going to have faster internet than like all of you shortly, and I stay in the arse end of nowhere. Like House of Ice territory is where I stay.
True, this is true. We have
we're just going to megabits instead of kilobytes now.
Booyah!
But yeah, like I said, there's what was it? Warhammer Dark Tide, I think, come on Game Pass a couple of weeks ago. Pete just reviewed this Warhammer game.
There's another one that was delayed.
There's Rogue Trader, which comes out, I think, next week or the week after. And I'm sure there was another one, Bolt Gun, earlier this year.
Yeah.
And was it
there was the Orc
Blood and Teeth one. Yeah.
Aye, there was an Orc one that had like a weird spell and everything that Dan reviewed that was co-op.
Yeah. I think the one that I reviewed was it's an RTS one. So yeah.
There's a multiplayer one coming out as well that I'm got my eyes on to pick up because that looks fantastic.
Yeah, so if you want to get into Warhammer, there's plenty of entry points. It depends on how far you
don't know where you're in it. Because
I
didn't realize it was like Warhammer, and then like Warhammer had all its different spin-offs. So like the 40k is like the big one, like the one that you gravitate towards when you hear Warhammer. I didn't then realize that Warhammer had like so many subsections underneath it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh fuck no, I can't do this. Yeah. I'll stick to 40k and that's it. I'll learn that one first.
For now.
Yeah.
Anyway, we could talk more about Warhammer. We do Warhammer. But yeah, so we've done our honourable mentions. We've done our favourite Project Game Pass game. Let's get into the meat of it, shall we, gentlemen? 53 minutes in.
Well, I was going to say, will we go negative before we go positive?
Do you want to get the negatives out of the way?
Well, we go down and then bring it back up. Right, end on a high.
Let's have a bit of a shit sandwich, shall we? So we've been pretty positive so far. Let's have a bit of a downer. And Pete, I think I'm going to go to you first.
You're forgetting, Pete. I have admin privileges.
Okay.
So this next category is, I mean, we've got
biggest
disappointment of 2023. And if he doesn't pick what I expect he's going to pick, I want a damn good reason why not.
If he does pick what I think he's going to pick, he's gone.
We're in for a ride.
All right.
This isn't necessarily a bad game, just something that didn't live up to our expectations.
Exactly.
Let's sit back and watch the carnage.
So, my most disappointing game of the year was football. No, the biggest Xbox launch game of the year, Starfield.
Oh, what a shame his internet cut out. Oh,
did it
man.
cut out? Oh.
I was so gutted. We're like glad we finally got him on, and then
Bad
just
timing.
shit internet, man. That's so. Ian, what was your biggest
Oh,
disappointment?
such a shame, Pete. Where's it? Oh.
And that's how Ian got pregnant. What?
But definitely isn't Jay's anyway. That's for sure.
That's for sure. Not in a minute. You know.
No, but
His
on a
haircut.
serious note, like overall, had I reviewed it, it would have been a 6.5 to 7 out of 10. You know, just looking at broadly, obviously, the Bethesda game I play the most is Skyrim, and I think that just if you compare the two, I think Starfield is just like a massive downgrade compared to what Skyrim offers. I think I'd even rather go play Fallout again than Starfield. You know, I mean, Starfield had I mean, I showed you the amount of bugs I shared with you guys in the WhatsApp group.
I genuinely can't understand how you seem to get every bug that Bethesda missed in your game.
Yeah, but then obviously when I Googled it or Jeeved it, whatever your favorite search engine is, you know, there were common problems that I was experiencing.
The weird one was
there was that one where
again the
ship.
Well, I got in straight away for you because I did. I went, I'm in. What are you on about?
Yeah, and there was one where I couldn't land on a planet, and I was like, "What's going on here? I can't land on this planet. I'm in the system. I'm right next to it. Why can't I land?" And Ross, it was your suggestion. Put some energy, put a point in the grav drive or whatever it was, and it landed. And I was like, "Well, that shouldn't have worked because it doesn't matter if you got that or not. If you're at the planet." I was like, "Okay." When it fixed it, I was like, "Okay, I can continue playing the game." But just the story was kind of uninspiring. You know, the companions were just awful compared to Skyrim or even Fallout. I mean, the thing is there was no kind of diversity when it came to the Starfield companions. It was like, no matter who you were with, if you sneezed in the wrong direction, they hated you. It was like, I can't believe you just sneezed it that way. How dare you sneeze that way? I'm fucking pissed at you. I was like, whoa, hello, sorry. I mean, the guy shot at me, so I killed him. What the fuck do you think, Sarah? Fuck you.
I must admit, I will agree with you on that one. I was thinking back on this the other day. Skyrim's bad for it as well, but Fallout does it well. There's no evil companion.
No.
So like
it's not even evil. It's just someone who looks the other way. You know?
Yeah. So like in Fallout, for example, if you had like pre-rehabbed Kate, you could get away with doing more like bad shit because she was quite a miscreant and done bad shit as well. McCready allowed you to do bad shit type idea. Hancock allowed you to do bad shit. Whereas if you were like with Piper, you had to be the straight and narrow type idea, which was fine because then you could play it however you wanted it. With Starfield, I would agree with you. It didn't matter who you had on your team. Oh, you got away with it a wee bit more with I can't remember his name. Barrett. You got away a wee bit more with it with Barrett because he was ex-space pirate type idea.
Yeah, but he still gave you snarky comments after, didn't he?
But they were very much, we are the good guys of the Constellation and the story.
Yeah.
They could have done with having a guy who was part of Constellation but was maybe from the criminal underworld type idea. So he wanted to explore like the Constellation did. Yeah, but would allow you, like if you had to bribe somebody or off somebody you think, on the side.
One of the first conversations you had with Sarah is she basically says, do whatever you want. If you end up in jail, whatever. So, and then it's like, well, I can't because you'll all hate me if I do that. You just told me I can, but now I can't. And so also,
make up your mind.
And also, before you finish some missions, you're actually stuck with the companion. So I think until you do a certain mission, you're stuck with Sarah. Another certain mission, you're stuck with Sam. And it's like,
hang on, Tavern needs more time. Come on.
Sorry, yeah. And I'm like, well, I want to go do this naughty thing over here, but I'm stuck with Sam. I can't dismiss him. It's like, okay, I've got to go do that now. But yeah, so Companions was a big letdown for me. I think also the weapon choices. It's like we were over more than 300 years into the future, and it's like these guns are pretty much the same as they were 300 years ago. There was seemingly no upgrade on the guns or anything like that. And it was just, you had to be a gunner. Like I said, when I compared to Skyrim, you could be, you could spells, summoner, bow and arrow, sword and shield. There was so much variation. Whereas this was okay. You've got different guns, you know. So that was like a disappointment with me. The kind of variation of guns. The upgrading the talents made no sense. You know, if you wanted to kind of like was the C class ship the best class? Was A
class was the best.
So A class the best, right? And so so our B class. Okay, so what do I need to do to get my license to air? Well, you need to destroy 50 ships. What? You want me to go on a genocide? Yeah. Just go destroy 50 ships, and I'll give you a license to fly part in a ship. Why? Some of it makes sense, like sneaking. You know, unlock, pick 50 locks, and improve it. Yeah, that's fine. But to get to have to get a better license to get a to drive pilot better Starcrafts, you had to blow up other Starcrafts.
You do the training module.
You're not allowed to say the word Starcraft while talking about Starfield.
I was waiting to jump in.
I'll go in and melt down. You'll see me shaking in the corner in a minute. Like
I wondered.
You can't do that.
I did wonder if you were going to notice.
Yeah, I've got I'm starting. I get palpitations. I can feel them already
all the time now. That's all.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to say I'm going to be rocking in a corner in a minute.
You know, so obviously, you know, you complete the game. I think we can go into a bit of a spoiler here now, can't you? In terms of obviously you got powers, but to unlock the full potential of the powers, you need to roll credits a minimum of 10 times to fully upgrade these powers. And the mini game to get those powers just wasn't worth it. Like that's got to be one of the worst mini games in the history.
It wasn't a good mini game.
I mean, is it even a mini game? It's how fast can you float over there? Can you? Oh no, I'm out of boost. I can't. Oh, it's gone. You know, it's like fuck it. The one I know, like right, one thing took me about 20 minutes because it kept on being like up there, like the furthest way possible could be. I even went out and back in, but it was still on opposite ends. Like it took me about 20 minutes to do it, and it just really kind of grinded my gears.
Starfield for 20 minutes.
What?
I feel like I can hear about you talk about how bad the Starfield is for 20 minutes.
I'm not saying bad. I'm saying disappointing. Yeah, there were good aspects to the new game plus in terms of like alternate universes. You know, I'll give it credit for that. But I was just, even though I wasn't that hyped for Starfield, I expected more, and that's, I guess, I'll finish it. I'll finish the saying around, I guess.
I think that's fair enough. We could definitely go on a lot longer, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, I can see why outlets gave it a 7 out of 10. You know,
I feel like we might be speaking about it later in the show.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I put 50, 60 hours into it, so it wasn't like I played for an hour and put it down again. I completed it. You know, I got 10 hours into a new game plus just to see if I could enjoy it. But again, you can't redistribute your skill points, which is another okay. But yeah, sorry, I've talked enough.
So that was Star Chest. Star Chest of your most disappointing game again. Surprising no one. We did. I feel like we need to get you on at some point on a proper episode to lay out your feelings a bit more in depth. But time is ticking away, so we must fly on through this wonderful Nexus. That is Project Xbox Game Pass, Xbox Taverns, fucking games of the year. Right, let's go round to. I'll tell you what. I'm going to go the opposite way around this time. I'm going to jump in. Hello. Biggest disappointment. I'm wondering if any of you are going to join me in this pick.
Yeah, probably.
Because I've got two. One of them I feel like it could be.
Yeah,
I had a couple of games on my list. A couple of games on my list here. Just very quickly, the only one really worth shouting out is AEW Fight Forever, and that's not my pick because I was really looking forward to that, and just I've played it or reviewed it. It was all right, and then I haven't touched it since, and it's just not as much fun as I hoped it would be to go back to.
Basically, the story of AEW.
Well,
I seen it. I thought it would be good. I watched it, and yeah, that's basically AEW.
I mean, you're not. Yeah, that's not a unfair comparison, I suppose. But my main pick is the one, the only. After the highs of Deathloop, they shit the bed with Redfall.
They absolutely
whiffed it. So we've already spoken many times about how much we dislike it. Like I said at the top, it's not necessarily, this category is not necessarily for bad games, but Redfall, I would say, is a bad game. It just, there's very little redeeming features that it did very well. The co-op was fun, but co-op is fun even if the game is dreadful. But the guns were naff, the world was naff, the combat was naff, the story was naff, the visuals were naff, the missions were naff. And
So, devil's advocate on this one.
go on.
Would you be tempted to jump back in, given that they've had improvements on it?
Yeah, you
So
can
I
now
have
do
jumped back
stealth
in
kills. You can now do
recently.
stealth kills now, Jay.
Yeah, but have you seen
10
the
months
stealth
off
kills?
and we can do stealth kills.
Have you seen them? They are utterly dreadful. They're not
Oh,
a stealth kill. It's just a slight animation of them falling over rather than just dying. It's
But you can stealth
awful.
kill, though, right?
you just
Better
barely.
than nothing. Is it better than nothing?
They have improved it with the 60 frames per second mode. And last time I played it, I did like an hour a few weeks ago on my own, and it was
Better.
all right just because of the few like quality of life moments. But I'd rather play it if I was going to suffer it through right to the very end. I'd rather play it in 4-player co-op and just get it done.
I was going to say, did you actually finish the campaign?
I'm right at the end. I've got a handful of missions left.
The game when you dragged, I think who was it you were dragging? Me and Gray, me and Ian,
And me, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was me and you, Pete, actually.
Me and you, we were low level, weren't we? And we
yeah,
were
you dragged us in, and that was pretty much like
we
the
headshot
last
this
few
guy.
missions.
Headshot this guy like 50 times. Why is he not dying? Why is he not his health?
Yeah, it started off fine, like we were holding it on, and then Jay went, I wonder what happens if you change the difficulty, or you change like something. Changed it, and me and Pete were just basically spectators, just like, we'll just follow you. We're not doing anything, but
that's the
fuck
thing.
it,
The balance of difficulty was woeful. Even despite our disparity in levels, even once changed the difficulty slightly, it went from like one-shot kills to entire clips of ammo were barely touching them. I was like, what is this? And again, they've balanced it all, and it's better now supposedly. But
I still stand by the best game that's done anything along those lines is Borderlands, because it's all done to the level of the player, regardless of what server you're in. So I could be max level, best gear, and I would face max level enemies with the highest health bars, and Jay could be level 3 fighting the same enemy, but that enemy's level 3. And it's perfect.
That word as well.
Yeah, it's perfectly balanced. It's good loot because the loot drops at the level. You can set it up so that if you want to do it, that if the legendary drops, it's not whoever picks it up gets it. They both drop legendary gear. So I've never jumped into the Warcraft side of things, but definitely from what I've played, Borderlands do that one of the best balancing type ideas in regards to like multiplayer games at different levels.
It's almost as if there's plenty of examples of doing it properly that they just didn't follow it.
Didn't bother looking at.
And yeah, I mean, even like you said, like the loot and the craft, the leveling up and stuff, all that was pointless. I got a legendary gun, I think, an hour into playing, and I was level 2, and then by the time I reached level 5, for example, that legendary gun was worse than the common weapons I was picking up. I was like, what's the point in labeling it like this? Like, just label it by level rather than. Yeah, well, I mean, again, we've spoke at length. Has anybody else picked Redfall as their most disappointing game of the year? Graham, chime in with your thoughts before we move on.
I had it as another one, but I've got another one that I can then allow us to talk about something else. So I'll skip Redfall for my one.
Yeah, Redfall was up there for me, but I had low expectations for it anyway. So
I've got one that far trumps Redfall. So.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting to that, but let's go to Graham quickly because you picked the same game.
I think because your accelerated giddiness around the game beforehand, it looks so good. It's going to be like a Left 4 Dead clone, but it's not. It's not. It's going to be so much better than that. It's going to be killing vampires, and it's going to be 4 of you. It's going to be epic.
And after the highs of Dishonored, I know you're not a stealth fan, but they've got tremendous pedigree, and then.
Yeah. Enemies that don't even want to know, they're just standing there waiting for you to fucking kill them.
I mean, would you agree that Redfall makes Back 4 Blood look good?
Yeah. It does. It slightly does. Yeah.
Back 4 Blood was more hilarious though than Redfall.
Yeah.
Don't know the pigeons. Whatever they were.
Yeah, don't shoot the pigeons.
But I mean, when you finally come up to a vampire and he's just chilling in the corner, and you're forced to put a stake for him because it's part of the mission. You always feel bad for the vampire at this point because he's not even doing you any harm. But it's just that the guns made no sense of the random different grading. You don't even know what was a good gun or not because they didn't. It just wasn't explained, and it's just bobbing back to the cellar to get the next mission to keep having to bob back and forwards. And
I think if I said the watch mission, does that give you some PTSD? Absolute waste of time.
To be fair, that was the funniest. because it actually had a mission where it's put the watch on the grave and then you nick it again.
Go all the way there. You put it down. Mission complete. Okay, and then you pick it back up and steal it from later.
Yeah,
Is that all right? Fair enough.
that was part of the mission. To the fact he just broke it again, just literally done the mission and then just robbed it, robbed the grave straight away. Didn't even let any time to think about it. Just done the mission. Now take it back.
Yeah, and I suppose if you don't take it back, you get it anyway in like the next mission.
Oh,
Someone
right.
gives it to you, so it doesn't matter anyway. Yeah, so really, really disappointed. Like I said, co-op fun to a degree. The powers were all right, I suppose, once you upgraded a few. But yeah, really, really missed the mark. Really missed the mark.
Yeah,
So
appallingly
maybe
missed the
there.
mark.
Yeah. All right, Ian, let's go to you then quickly. What's your most disappointing game of 2023?
So for me, obviously, Redfall, again, it had its ups and downs, it was a crock of shit, let's face it. But one for me that was a beast, one which I was so hugely looking forward to, and then instantly was upset and disappointed, was this Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Oh, yeah.
Again, going back to Graham's favourite genre, stealth.
You were hyped for that.
I absolutely couldn't wait for it. Bought it day one.
I think Gray doesn't like stealth, but I think the fact that it was going back to the old school roots of Assassin's Creed, all Assassin's Creed fans were like, fucking get in there. None of this fucking running around with fucking 2 tomahawk axes going, ah!
Yeah, none of this hack and slash. It's all pure stealth. Going back to its roots where this, and then it was just pure disappointment. The main character was just a letdown. It took you at least 5-6 hours before you even get anywhere decent enough. And then when you're actually in the kind of the city they have, it's too barren, and just not. I wouldn't say barren. It's just more. It's not really that enjoyable. Like you don't really feel like you're jumping from building to building. There's a ship to ship then, building to building. But still, it's just the storyline was pure. It wasn't fun. I can't even remember the storyline. I tried to play for it, and when I was looking at my pics and stuff, I was like, so what was the story of Assassin's Creed for me? Assassin's Creed Mirage. And I was like, fuck. Yeah, that guy, and what was his name? Oh yeah, that. And then it's like, oh. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing really. I'm just doing mission. I'll go kill this person. I'll go find out where this person is. Okay, now go kill him. It's like, well, if I know where he is, I can just go kill him then straight away. Don't go find where that person is. Go find that person. Then you go back and go, okay, he's there. Okay. I go kill him at night time. It's like I was just there a minute ago. Why can't I just kill him and do it at the same time? It's just absolutely pointless. I feel like they try to pad out more and more. And there's too many follow missions as well. Follow this guy. Where he goes.
Oh, I hate those missions. That and fucking escort missions.
Yeah. I don't know escort missions yet, but fucking follow missions. I
fucking hate escort missions.
The problem with Assassin's Creed is they haven't been able to make a protagonist as good as Ezio.
No.
So Origins got close. I really liked him, but Ezio is still.
Edward was good.
Who?
Edward was good. I know Ian will dismiss him because it was ships, but Ian was Edward was good.
Yeah. And he wasn't that charismatic. He was just a bit, just very bland and just
none of them have managed to grab you.
More time. Okay, give it out. Just give him more time. And I just couldn't do it. Kept playing for it, and it was just like, no, I can't do it anymore. I had to stop playing it because I was wasting my time trying to play it and trying to enjoy something where I'm just not actually enjoying the game at all. For me, I was so hyped for it, so happy for it, especially when I was saying to go back to its roots and stuff. But they've just missed the mark completely with such a shit main character.
That's a shame because, I think we said before it came out, this is one of the ones I thought might bring me back in because I haven't enjoyed the bigger Assassin's Creeds. But going back to stealth, going back to roots, but I'll wait till Ubisoft put it on sale again.
Yeah.
And, maybe check it out.
Be on stealth again before you know it.
Assassin's Creed games do not need to be 80, 85 hours long. I've apparently that's the thing. I've enjoyed the last 3 big ones. I've enjoyed Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. I've enjoyed them. I don't class them as Assassin's Creed games as such.
No, they're hack and slash, aren't they?
Yeah, I just enjoy them for what they are in regards to the RPG elements, the story, and things like that. But not as an Assassin's Creed game. They do not need to be the length that they are. I mean, I remember playing Valhalla and it was like I don't see an end to this game.
Even Odyssey was like that. It's like you thought you were
Like
at the
Odyssey
end.
as well. Like I didn't mind Odyssey as much because of where it was set, and I love ancient Greece, so that was fine. That was fine for me. I didn't mind spinning, but like medieval or Viking England for an 85-hour game is like, lads, fucking let's wrap this up a bit here.
And it's weird because obviously, like those ones, you could pretty much hack and slash away and kill them.
Yeah,
In this one, you can't really do that. If you just parry them once, you can instantly kill them. So all you need to do is when you get into a big battle, when you're like say 3 or 4 guards surround you, just wait for them to attack you, then you parry, instant kill,
Parry,
instant
yeah.
kill. And it's like they might do a big attack on you, which you can't really dodge, or you can dodge it, but you can't parry it. And then just do one, and then they go back to normal attacks, and you just parry it, instant kill.
that's
So
what
the
I
one
miss.
Wasn't that good?
That's what I miss about like the old Assassin's Creed, like using a dart, put them to sleep, put like 3 of them to sleep, leave one standing, go and kill him, and then like as the others start to wake up, assassinate them, and then you clear that area. Like you didn't get a group of 5 or 6 around you because you never got detected to get 5 or 6 around you. Hiding in haystacks to wait till somebody walks past and grab them, pull them in, assassinate, back up to the rooftops. That's how I want an Assassin's Creed game to play. I want to be an assassin, not a murderer.
Yeah, that's exactly what it should be. It should be like you've gone to assassinate one guy, not just kill everyone around him first and then kill the guy. And that's what's the disappointment. It's like it should be like I say, where you don't have to kill everyone. You
kill your target. It's like Hitman, I suppose. You kill your target as the person you want to kill. Not all I'll do is I'll murder the whole army. Then when I get to the guy, I'll just kill him. Like sieges, like in Valhalla. Like why am I going through a siege to kill one person? I'm an assassin. I should be able to sneak around the whole fort, jump up on the ballast, sneak in through the compound, target him, and get back out without even anybody knowing I'm there.
And that's exactly it, yeah. So yeah, for me, it's not, like I said, there's one where you have to kill the 2 main guards and stuff. It's like, I don't want to, and they're all big guys. So you got to go into a battle with them. You can't just dart them because they got helmets on, so they can't dart them. It's like, okay, you have to go and fight them first.
Yeah, it's the same with Valhalla, where you had like the arena, not Valhalla, Odyssey. You didn't have an arena as such, but you had like the battleground where you had like the Spartans the Athenians. It's like, I'm an assassin, or I'm the first of the hidden ones, whatever it may be. Why am I having to do wartime battles to kill one person? Why can I not just find them on the way to the camp and assassinate them either at the camp when everybody's sleeping, or just be able to kill them on the way and get out again?
Exactly that. And that's
like I say, if you take the words Assassin's Creed of it and just go, I don't know, Total War Odyssey, I realise that's a different genre and different type of gaming, but if you just take the period of time and a story, then market it as that, fantastic. Put an Assassin's Creed in the title, it almost like it knocks a couple of points off it because you want it to be an Assassin's Creed game.
Oh, and how very dare you want your Assassin's Creed to be an Assassin's Creed game, eh?
Yeah,
outrageous.
You want to be assassinated, not just fucking killing everyone.
Yeah.
It's been a murder.
Play some Shadow of War or
seems like I dropped off at the right time with that series.
Yes, you did. Yeah. Finished Black Flag and then after. Well, no, I suppose there's a couple others after that.
You can burgle a couple of people as well, can't you, Us?
Yes, you can rob them. You will never get me to catch out on it because I know my vocabulary doesn't include that word.
We'll see about that. Anyway, Ross.
Yes.
Let's get to you. You're the final one for the biggest disappointments of the year. Hit me.
Yeah. So Redfall was probably going to be the one that I was going for, but I put a backup in case everybody else has said Redfall, so it gave us something else to talk about. And it's another Project Game Pass game, actually. It was a game that I was super hyped up on. I liked the whole idea of the dystopian type future. And it sort of dived off the cliff when I was sexually assaulted by a healing robot. So I had I had horrible memories, and I did not enjoy Atomic Heart. As much as I thought this was going to be, this was in the running, even alongside Starfield, is probably my game of the year from everything I'd seen about it. And I thought, oh, this is the one. I can see it. It's like it's got the old time sort of idea, but futuristic stuff. Very Fallout type idea where you've got futuristic technology with everything with the old fashioned type stuff as well.
kind of a little bit steampunky kind of thing.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is the one, and it's so disappointing. Me, it was unbelievable. When the best thing you can say about it was the sex robot was fucking hilarious. That's what you've got to worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that thing that was so annoying.
Yeah, I wanted it to be
the first
great.
couple of times, I was like, okay, it's funny. The 10th time, I was like, no.
Yeah, I wanted it to be so much better than it was, and like I say, it was game of the year potential for me. But when I actually picked up and played it, and I was like so hyped for the Project Game Pass, and even having it in Project Game Pass couldn't inspire me enough to sit down and really like go through it. It was that poor.
Yeah, I tried the gameplay as well, which was so poor.
Yeah, it was. It hyped itself up to be fantastic, and it was so poor.
I quite enjoyed the opening scene when you sort of getting.
Oh yeah, it started off great. It looked cool as hell.
Lovely, like it looks awesome.
And it's beautiful to look at, like as a visual not masterpiece, but as a visual concept, it was fantastic.
Oh, yeah, it was stunningly beautiful, wasn't it?
But it just lacked in so like all the other major areas. It just was poor. I'd much rather have a game. I don't want to harp back to it, but I'd much rather have a game like Pokemon, where it doesn't look great, but it draws you in and you enjoy it. Whereas this was the opposite. It looked fantastic, shit to play.
Was it a first-party game, this, or was it on PlayStation as well? I know it dropped day and date on Game Pass, didn't it? But I can't remember.
I think it has come to PlayStation. I don't know if it come the same day or not. But I don't think it's Xbox.
They weren't missing much.
Exactly.
I must admit, this is one that did cross my mind, but I wasn't massively interested in it to start with. I only played it because it was Project Game Pass. But
Atomic Heart is everybody. Yeah, PS4, PS5, Windows, Xbox.
It was not anywhere near as good as it could have been, or should have been, should we say?
I was so gutted at this.
Well, anyway, let's brush off the negativity. Let's move on.
Back to positiveness. Yay!
Positive. Biggest surprise.
G ourselves up.
Someone else talked about Starfield, but fine.
Yeah, no. Are we doing biggest surprise just now, or are we starting our top three? What are we doing here, gents?
We can we'll do the top three now. But before we do the top three, the third pick of our top three, Graham, what's your best pool?
Best pool. Give me your pools.
It was probably between the Heroes Rudy Voller or the Thunderstruck Ansu Fati from Brighton.
Simply for the fact that it's Thunderstruck, you have to. That's the one.
Thunderstruck.
What does Thunderstruck mean?
Thunderstruck, ACDC.
Fatty is another thing.
But what does it mean in terms of?
Right, so it's upgradable.
Yeah, so depending on how Brighton play with them, they can get a couple more sort of upgrades and play styles, which improve the stats of the card. I did get a Joel Linton one as well in a Thunderstruck one, but he's not as good as the Fatty or Rudy Voller. And so, yeah.
So at the risk of running down a very big rabbit hole, Gray, I need a wee bit of an explanation from you. What is the radiation promo?
So it's a way to try to get you to mix up your team a bit more. It allows you to double down on the chemistry. So if you had sort of one person that matched that person's league, you get 2 points of chemistry instead of just the one. And the same way as if they're from the same country or or same club, you kind of double down on the chemistry points. So it's a way of, if you try to mix up the teams a bit more, radioactive one can give you that extra bit of chemistry that it would.
So it's like you have a favourite player that plays in Italy, but you've got a primarily a La Liga team.
Or La Liga.
If you throw in one of these radiation players, it offsets trying to fit your favourite player in.
Yes, exactly that.
I see.
So
innovation from you.
It is, but they put it on some random old characters. So like Aubameyang.
Well, that's the fucking issue.
Like,
why did they throw it on random?
The thing is with FIFA, I said to Gray yesterday, there's just too many special cards now. They just don't feel special anymore.
But this is what I said to you.
Great. And then it was like, yeah, team of the week. Oh, great. But now it's like you got team of the week, team of the day, player of the hour. And now it's like you got fucking you got like 20, 30 different special cards, and it's like, it's EA going, how much more money can we get from these pool packs?
Well, this is
Obviously, we know Graham's a free-to-play player, but all these poor parents that are getting their FIFA bills from all their bloody FIFA points and backing cards, and I'm like,
this is what I said at the end of. This is what I said at the end of 23. It was basically becoming Madden. Madden has so many special cards, like it's fucking unreal. Like they have like Thanksgiving Day cards, Turkey cards, Halloween cards, Christmas cards. Shit, you know. Then they've got like Madden Heroes, Madden Power Up cards, Madden Captains, Madden. There's so many fucking cards. It's like you can have 15 versions of Tom Brady. And it's like, why do I need 15 versions of Tom Brady? He's the GOAT. Just give him a 99. That's all he needs.
It's that kid that goes to school and goes, oh, look, I've got this pack. And then the other guy goes, my mum wants to buy some packs. I want that one. It's the same with Fortnite and their skins,
It's ridiculous that they've introduced as many cards as they have.
Yeah. It's gone way overboard the last 2 years, like this year and last year.
Speaking of Fortnite, I need to send you two a video where I saw this guy basically wanted to get a win by just fishing.
Oh god!
Right, they brought it back in.
But you can do damage with a fishing rod, so it doesn't surprise me at all.
No, we didn't do it. All he did was he standing one of the, those what's called those like the water where it's heals you, constantly heals you.
Oh yeah.
So he sat in one of them, and then that'll let you go through 2 circles without dying. And then after the 3rd circle, you just keep fishing and keep eating fish whilst fishing and stuff. And he actually managed to get a win by doing that.
There is no world where you need to let Jay see that clip and then him fucking constantly just put that out as the only thing that he'll ever show.
I just thought, did I dream that? And then I looked it up later. And I was like, I need to send them to them too.
So what we're saying is
that wouldn't be a dream. That'd be a nightmare.
Fortnite is January's Game Pass game, and the aim is to win a match.
Not fishing. Fucking chance.
Well, we've got 2 votes already.
Yeah, let's do it. 2 out of 5.
Okay. Woo!
We got the majority vote. Let's do it.
It's bad enough that I need to play it when my son comes over, but after that, there is not a snowball chance in hell.
The new season started. Yeah, it's great fun so far. Anyway, sorry, we've gone way off topic here.
Apparently, the M&M event was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I missed it. I was out, but I saw some clips. That was cool. Anyway. Before we get too distracted in this already extended edition of Xbox Tavern's Xbox Tavern, let's move on.
Ish.
Ish.
I was giving you an ish, G. You never get an
ish. I just wanted an ish. We don't need a time. We just need an ish. That's all we need.
Anyway, taking the ish.
Oh, taking the ish. And my ish is starting to play up, so I might have to go.
I was going to say your ish is going to be an issue in a minute.
Graham, I'm going to go to you first this time.
Number 3.
Our biggest surprise of 2023 before we get into top 3.
Oh, okay. Mixed it up.
Let's do it.
Yeah, this one was a hard one for me. Sort of, I couldn't find one that was.
It was actually a decent game.
I was going to be playing it, and I am playing it. It's not really a surprise. So probably the surprise that I didn't think I'd kind of get into and started to enjoy more than what I thought it was probably Loop Hero. I thought that was probably my biggest surprise because I put quite a lot of time into that, and it's a very, very simple game, sort of a roguelike sort of strategies place, almost kind of like a puzzle kind of base game. And yeah, that surprised me. I think one of your recommendations of like giving it a try, and I tried to stick that one out.
I must admit, Gary, I thought your one would have been and I forget the name of it. It was the game where it was like triangles and you had like the future and the past.
Oh, Christ Tales. Was that?
Yes, I thought. Was that not this year? I thought that was this year. I could be wrong.
I don't think that was this year.
Time is a flat circle. I have a feeling it was last year as well. But
it was last year too. Yeah,
it could have been last week for all I remember. My basis of time is shocking.
It was actually 2 years ago.
I was about to say, I don't. You're in the triangle at the moment, by the sound of it.
Why did I think you played it this year?
Yeah, you played Fun 21.
Yeah, come to Game Pass, possibly.
Yeah, maybe it's something like that. Maybe it came to Game Pass.
But Game Pass, does it?
I was trying to look at all the different ones I played through this year. I'm pretty sure I would have remembered that if it was this year. But
I don't remember they come to Game Pass because some of you mentioned it. So yeah.
Yeah, from a game I didn't think I'd actually enjoy at all. I actually got into that one quite well. So that was my sort of surprise of the year out of all of them. There wasn't many other games I could think of that I didn't think I was going to enjoy and actually enjoyed. So I couldn't even use Redfall as a surprise because I didn't think I was going to enjoy it, and I was bang on.
Yeah.
But for a different reason.
That's good.
So maybe that's
that's we've done the negativity. We're on the up. We're on the up. It's a Loop Hero for Graham there. It's still on Game Pass, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's probably just worth checking out. I think I did install it after you mentioned it, but as Ian likes to do, I haven't even touched it. I might play it next year if it's still in Game Pass. Then let's go to Ian now. Speaking of Ian, your biggest surprise of games you played this year, please.
So, Honor mentioned the biggest surprise is drawing 3-3 in FIFA with Graham.
It was an epic game. Epic game.
I love it.
Beating Graham Friel?
That's technically beating him for you.
I beat Graham 2-2 as well.
But I mean, we've spoke about it already earlier in the show, so I won't go too much into detail with it. But for my biggest surprise is Exoprimal. Going into it again, I was very like, "Oh, this is going to be mess, a bit of a shooter, a bit like Oh yeah, I think Jay said it's like Left 4 Dead with dinosaurs. I was like, oh fuck's sake, you're not spelling me here with this. Like,
wait to sell it short.
But yeah, once I started playing, but I think what maybe put it into biggest surprise was how much I actually enjoyed being the healer more than actually shooting in Exoprimal.
I mean, fairness, when you're good at something, it makes it enjoyable.
Yeah, and that's it. I was pretty damn. I could do both. I could stun enemies and also heal at the same time. So,
he was. I mean, and his
Warcraft, Apex Legends, you're never the healer.
And his Exo Primal days, it was pretty top tier.
Yeah,
I mean, the amount of MVPs he got after being the healer.
If you could have kept up with me, you would have been better at it. But you just
I just left you and stayed with other.
I mean, Jay, you've always been a ninja just running off by yourself.
Jay's at the final boss. Like, what the fuck's going on here, guys? Come on,
you're crawling around the floor.
Where the fuck are you?
Ian, where are you?
Where are you, Ian?
Ian, hurry up!
Yeah. So for me, I think that's it because I started getting good at it, and healing was quite a lot of fun. Keeping everyone alive and just the odd shooting with stunning and stuff. Because that kind of weird electricity with stun them in place, which helps. Like, for example, Graham with his tanking and stuff. You can actually knock them back, and then obviously Jay and Ross will shoot them down. And I think it was a lot of fun.
Yes.
The only thing annoying with healers when it was that fucking guy with the sword because I just gave up because they were off. So nope.
Yeah, because they've got no chance but to go head first into everyone.
Exactly. Like if you've got a melee character, the healer is sitting there like, for fuck's sake.
So you always try to go in, give him proper heals, and jump back. And then again, there was quite a lot. I love the Witch Doctor as a main favorite healer. So yeah, for me, I won't go too much into detail because we spoke about it earlier in the show, and we're already at an hour 30. So Exoprimal.
Primal, very nice. For me, I'll keep it very brief because I'm sure it's not going to come up again, but we've already spoken about it via Graham earlier on. It's Like a Dragon, the man who erased his name. I've tried many of the Yakuza games over the years. As I said, could not get into any of them, but for some reason, this one just twinged it, and I was like, oh, actually, these are quite good, aren't they? And
did you get me tingled down south, Jay? Is that what it was? You tingled.
I was a bit numb by that point. I was off for a couple of days earlier this week for unrelated reasons. We don't need to get into it right now. I had a haircut on Tuesday.
Ian's pregnant.
The haircut, yeah.
And yes, I had a couple of days off, so I literally just played it solidly, sitting on the couch for 2 days straight, and finished it.
At least something was
fucking excellent. Exactly, yeah.
So is this game going to make you explore Yakuza more? Give it another chance?
Last week when we spoke about it with Graham, he recommended I go back to 0, give that another shot. So I have installed 0. I haven't started it yet. I'll probably start it in the new year. But yeah, I'd like to go back and try some of the other ones, especially with what's called Infinite Wealth, isn't it, coming out in January.
Yeah. You won't like that one though, because that's one.
That's like a turn-based one, isn't it? But
yeah. If you're going to try and get into that one, do the other one first, Like a Dragon first with Ichiban, because you might not even like that main character. He's a bit more wackier.
Ichiban?
Yeah. He's got an Ichiban.
Which one did they change from turn-based? Is it 5?
No, from Like a Dragon, the actual start of Like a Dragon series, because it's not Yakuza, it's just a spin-off.
Like a Dragon, is that the first one? Is that Ishin? Is it
Ichiban? itchy.
It was Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon, and then after that they've changed it to just be called Like a Dragon from now on.
Yeah, so
what's
that's where the
the-
main character changed from Kiryu to Ichiban.
So what's the Ishin one?
That's like a
Ishin
spin-off
was just
one,
a
isn't it?
spin-off random one. That's
Okay. 'Cause that
where
was-
they went back in time and relived an actual event that happened in sort of Japan around that time of
I see.
a coup and everything. And they just kind of merged it with the Yakuza kind of all the characters kind of reappeared in there. It's quite weird.
I see.
Yeah, so this one, like you said, everyone, is like a spin-off, so it's not hundreds of hours long. I got through it, like I said, in about 40 hours, and it's sort of, I think that's why I got into it, because it's a lot shorter and a lot more condensed, rather than having to sit there and properly get sucked into the story. And obviously, I probably would have understood a lot more if I played some of the other ones, because there's certainly some returning characters and events and stuff. But I won't go into too much. I don't know how far Graham is, and obviously, don't want to spoil it for anyone else. But yeah, I was genuinely surprised that not only did I stick with it, but I finished it and had a bloody good time with it. So yeah, Like a Dragon, the man who erased his name.
Shall we address the elephant in the room at the moment in regards to Project Game Pass? Seeing as we've both seen it's been discussed now.
We can get it out of the way if you'd like. We can
I
get it out
feel
of the
like
way
it's I feel like it's a good idea, seeing as yes.
yeah. So we jumped the gun a little bit with our Project Game Pass haste late last month. We put a poll out. Like a Dragon won, barely. But we
Unbeknownst.
decided
By one vote?
between us. Yeah, I think it was one
Was
vote.
it
and
by
I
one
actually
vote?
voted for it. So
So the vote that Jay
I
gave it.
think, yeah, so that could have been my vote that tipped over the edge. I'm not sure. So yes, we've
Over the
discussed
math,
amongst
there was one.
ourselves. We decided to sort of not ignore the poll. Thank you very much for voting if you voted, but we've decided to
The
put
fair.
that on ice for now.
I voted Far Cry.
To rein it in a little bit. We're going to change up how we do Project Game Pass from January, which we'll discuss next week because we ain't got time for it now. But for now, we're going to swap out the game and we're going to play Remnant 2, if I'm not mistaken. Is that what
Correct.
we
Remnant 2.
Which I did start earlier on. Again, don't
Yep.
want to get too. I literally played like 10 minutes, but
Beautiful
Oh, it's
looking game.
multiplayer.
it looks all right. Didn't really run very well in Series S, but we'll talk about that more next week
Oh, it's a
once we've actually
multiplayer
had a
game.
chance to.
Or is
It is a multiplayer.
Yeah.
You can jump in multiplayer. There's a few different ways to do the multiplayer on it as well.
Oh, so you can just play single player by yourself?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a single player
the
and
game
multiplayer.
You
Oh,
jump
okay.
on multiplayer.
Okay. I mean, I've got it downloaded ready, so.
Highly recommend that you play it multiplayer because it is hard as balls.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I mean, I've literally shot one enemy so far. So and they went down piece of piece. Anyway, we'll talk about that more next week. So we're going to play some Remnant 2, and then, like I said, we're going to mix up how we're going to do Project Game Pass next year. Well, we'll talk about that next week when we've got a bit more time in our final show of the year, I believe, next week. But yeah, anyway, sorry, we're moving on from here. Special guest Pete, I believe we're at you now
Yes.
with your biggest surprise of the year.
So my pick for biggest surprise of the year is
Starfield.
surprisingly disappointing. Yes, Diablo 4.
That was a surprise.
Yes, because Diablo
wow.
4. So I played Diablo 3 last year or year before, and it was like a free weekend, and I did not get on with it. It was just I just didn't like it. I don't know why. But then earlier this year, the Diablo 4, the kind of open beta came out, and we all jumped on, and I was like, this is fucking great. Apart from obviously being teleported back to the same bit 10 fucking times.
Couldn't tell what the story was
To
like.
that fucking ladder. So if I had to climb that ladder one more fucking time. But yeah, and then we were lucky enough to get a review code for it. Thank you, Blizzard. And I gave it a 9.7. It now holds the privilege of being my highest rated game on xboxtavern.com. I stand by it. Obviously, since its release, it has come under a bit of flack from the Diablo community about microtransactions, all that kind of shit. But if you're like me and you play it single player, you're not bothered about the daily grind and you're in it for the story and just how beautiful the game looks. It is absolutely superb. You know, I think there's 5 classes, perhaps 6, and each class is just fun to play. You know, you've got the Necromancer, which I know Gray loved watching me play with my little skeletons, thinking they were actual enemies. You know, you've got the mage, you've got the druid, you've got the rogue, and you've got the kind of what's the warrior one called? Yeah, barbarian. So they're all so fun to play. You know, the only reason that I it didn't make my top 3 was because I love playing through as my necromancer, but I then made a mage character, but even though I started it and I got to level 10, 15, it wasn't calling me back. A bit like we discussed earlier, like games that kind of like play me. It wasn't doing that. So biggest surprise is Diablo, because I did not expect to be playing it this year. Loved the beta, got lucky getting the review code, and it's superb. At some point, I will go back to it and complete another character, whether it's like a barbarian or a rogue, I don't know. But it is bloody fantastic. Hopefully, at some point, obviously now the Activision Blizzard deal has gone through, it may come to Game Pass. Game Pass.
Game Pass.
It might come to Game Pass. Maybe 2025.
That would be a very new project game.
That would be interesting. Who's your Game Pass for this month?
I don't think we'll see it next year, but I think maybe 2025 they might put it in there. But if it goes on sale, if you're not bothered about the daily grind, if you're not bothered about people paying £50 for cosmetics, they can stay in their own little zone. If you're in it just for the single player experience, it's worth it. It's fantastic.
I must admit, I think it was Diablo. Now I'm going to get mixed up. What was the one that was the DLC? Was the Reaper of Souls? That's
called number 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So I played 3, and I wholeheartedly loved it. I thought it was fantastic. But with the Diablo games, a lot of the appeal of it is the dungeon system. And like the seasons type idea. And I feel like for that sort of idea, you need to have a group of people to play it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a lot of min-maxing type idea. And I think that's where the Borderlands fan in me comes out. Like, it's not just getting like the specific gun, like in Borderlands, you have to get like the right parts on the gun to make it effective for X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's how I would like to play Diablo. Like if I was doing it, I would want to have like the best gear for the type of character that I was. So it's a lot of you kill a boss, you go back, you didn't get the gear you want, you go back, fight him again, X, Y, so on and so forth. But it's definitely a game that strikes me as a better experience playing it. I know you play it single player, Pete, but a co-op experience. Like if you had a group to jump in and do everything, I feel like you could sort of tick every box. Like you would have a necromancer, a barbarian, a mage, and then I can't think of the other ones, but rogue, you know what I mean, a rogue type idea.
Yeah.
And that's always been where Diablo has sort of eluded me. Because I would want to deep dive into it, but I don't necessarily have the group to do the min-maxing.
Yeah. The good thing is, like, if you do complete the story mode, when you complete a new character in the same server, you can actually just complete you can just skip the story, and you can just go dungeon calling friends and whatever you want to do that way.
That's how it should be. I mean, I think I know I keep harping back to it, but that's one of the things that Borderlands fail on. You have to replay the story every time you start a new character, which I feel is utterly stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all had a good time, didn't we, playing Diablo 4? I know Ian was trying to skip the story and I'm trying to listen, going, listen to the story.
I want to listen to the cutscenes. Fuck your cutscenes.
There's me watching the cutscene. I'm like, oh shit, I'm 5 minutes behind. Where are you? I'm watching the cutscene still. But yeah, Diablo 4 is definitely my best surprise of the year.
I had too much fun burning stuff, like channeling my inner Jay.
Jay?
Damn right, baby. Fire all the way. Fire all the way. All right, let's. We've got Ross left, haven't we, for our biggest surprise of the year?
Yes. So my one isn't so much that it's a game that surprised me in regards to how good the series is or the specific game, because I know the series and game are fantastic. What surprised me the most is how well implemented it was. And it was on the back of special guest Pete's recommendation. I have went for Age of Empires 4 console edition. So I've always been a fan of the Age of Empires series. I feel like a fantastic Age of Mythology as well. Some of my favourite games of all time. I think they're great series. But same with Football Manager, same with F1 Manager. It's not a game that translates well to playing on console because you've got so many hotkeys. You've got to pause, tab, jump into certain things, X, Y, and Z. So it never really worked on a console as much. So when Age of Empires 4 dropped, I jumped straight on the PC, battered some hours into it, thought it was fantastic, really loved it. Then Pete turns around and says, you should play the console version. They've really done a good job of putting it into the sort of best way to control it with the controller. So jumped in and holy shit, they have absolutely smashed it in regards to implementing an RTS game with a controller input. I was so happy that I actually had a game where I didn't have to jump onto my PC every time I wanted to play a sort of RTS. Well, it's not real. Well, I suppose it was an RTS game, but that sort of game, I could jump onto the Xbox, play Age of Empires, a game that I absolutely amazed. So I thank you, Pete, for your fantastic biggest surprise of the year.
Yeah. I think I remember, recommend it on the After Dark. So, if you missed out on that, make sure you're subscribed to get the access to
what a
After
plug!
Dark.
Look at that.
What a plug!
natural baby.
Segue.
They on there any more often, eh? You need to go on there more often. Just like
That's it.
segues and pluggles all round.
Patreon subscription is going to go through the roof with that segue.
Damn right.
Oh, damn
Should
me.
get Pete for the
As long as I
win.
get my
Beautiful.
commission.
All right, so we're at the excuse me, we're at the main event right now. We're a bit further in than I thought we would be. So let's go for it. Top 3 of
Gotta
the
go
year,
fast.
gentlemen.
Let's
We'll
go you
fast
first, Jay.
indeed.
Let's go you first.
Each
Well,
before
that's-
beauty.
You must have read my mind because I was going to jump in anyway. So thanks, Ian.
And get ready to disconnect when he says lake in 3, 2,
So
DLC doesn't count.
1.
my favourite, well, I should say my third favourite game of this year. I spoke about horror games earlier on. I'm going to keep the trend going. It was Amnesia: The Bunker.
Wow.
Which was a
That's a big
first-person
shout.
sort of stealth horror, like almost roguelike element horror game, basically.
Did you go back and play the hardcore mode?
Absolutely not. No.
Oh.
Just watching the trailer was like, that's enough for me. I'm fucking shit my pants.
I'm done.
It's really, really good game. The systems they used were excellent. The physics-based sort of puzzle solving you could do was awesome. Like you could find the key for the door, or you could bash it down, or you could have the monster chase you and bash it down, or you could knock other things down to sort of get in his way. But there was so much options there to do. The fact that you needed to keep your fuel supply topped up, so always the lights would go out, added that sort of tension to get in and out before. You couldn't hang around and be like, oh, I wonder what's around this corner. You're like, what's here? No, nothing. What's here? No, nothing. Run! But you couldn't run because then the monster would hear you and chase you. And it's one of the tensest experiences I've ever played in a game. And apart from the end, like the last hour, which let it down a little bit, I thought it was one of the best games I played this year. Really, really good. I can't recommend it enough. Even if you're a bit scared, like Ian might be, I can't recommend it enough to give it a try just to see what you think. Especially now they've updated it and changed things. Like I said, I haven't played any of the new updates, but apart from the hardcore mode, they've changed things where they've randomized locker locations and codes and item locations, and the monster can get in the safe room and stuff now. Yeah, no, thank you. It was scary enough the first time, let alone doing it with all that sort of shenanigans going on as well. But,
the Amnesia games are definitely one of the games that do the atmospheric tension better than nearly all horror games that I've played. Like even as much as I love Silent Hill, the atmosphere that you get in the Amnesia games. Obviously, I don't know. I've never played this one, but I know how like the old ones, like Dark Descent and things like that, where you are sort of tripping out and your whole vision started to go because the monster was close and things like that. They create a sense of unease the full amount of time that you're playing it.
Yeah, and that was it the entire time. Again, apart from the end, which let it down slightly, it was just like on the edge of my seat. Am I going to make it back? Am I going to find what I need? Yeah, and there was one part, again, I don't want to spoil anything, but it was literally like as far away as you could possibly be. And I found like a fuel supply, so I was filling up all my bottles of fuel, and then all my lights went out. I was like, fuck, and then you hear him, and I've got to make the whole way back to the safe room without any lights. But if I get there, then I've got fuel and I have to see me through the rest of the game. And it was like that perfect pitch of like, I'm shitting myself, but this is great at the same time. Yeah, really, really good. Can't recommend it enough. So Amnesia: The Bunker is still on Game Pass, and as Ross said, they've updated it loads as well, so well worth a check out. Right, which way around am I going to go? I'm going to Ian, I think, next. Ian, let's go back round that way.
Fair enough.
What's your third pick of the year?
Now, my third pick of the year is one that was pretty much shadow dropped, and I played it as soon as it was shadow dropped. until its
Hi-Fi Rush?
entirety. And that is correct. It's Hi-Fi Rush. It would have been my, but definitely it just beats it. But Lost definitely came out in 2022. So but still, Hi-Fi Rush was a fantastic.
Well, you could always Hades it if you want, though. It's fine.
Yeah, I could always hate it. I feel his soul dying. Oh, bless him. Yeah. So me, Hi-Fi Rush has been. I mean, I love the visual, like kind of the cartoon mechanics. I mean, even though he was a little bit annoying, he was still quite funny, and the whole comedic aspect of the game was quite, for me, lighthearted. But I did enjoy it, and did kind of like the beat, the hit into the beat. That was always good fun, especially play with headphones. Makes it so much more better, and the music was fantastic in the game. And I think you played as well a lot, didn't you, Jay? No one else really did.
Yeah, I've got a few.
I
a fair
got
few
to
levels
I
in.
beat the first boss, but I had a problem with for whatever reason the notes weren't sticking up for me, so I kept on missing a load of notes.
I think
you
I
have to
got towards the
calibrate
second
first.
boss, I think, and that was about as far as I got. But I was enjoying it, but there's so many other things come out,
Okay.
I just didn't get a chance to go back to it. But yeah, so that's your third pick of the year, Hi-Fi Rush, up for
Yeah, I think
plenty of
it's
Game
good.
Awards
I did-
on Thursday.
And they added some DLC as well, which has been obviously nice added touch to it. And yeah, I think I can't really fault it. I mean, yeah, Hi-Fi Rush.
Very nice indeed. Okay, Graham, let's go around to you now. What's your third pick of the year?
My third pick of the year was one I didn't think I was going to enjoy as much as I did until we had a little taste of it at one of the gaming events, and that was Dead Island 2.
Ooh,
I really enjoyed
okay.
that game.
a stealth game.
No, not really.
It's one of those you can
Yeah.
Yeah, why would you ever want to?
Yeah, no, not at all. But I mean,
I don't even think I could play that game stealthily.
no. But yeah, I played that game through to completion, and it was I totally enjoyed it. Lots of different sort of characters to interact with. It didn't take itself too seriously at times, and lots of different sort of weapons to kind of use and sort of ways to kind of grow. And yeah, the story kept you ticking along nicely, and it had a nice decent length to it as well. So compared to the first one, which I found it was a bit stiff at times, a bit monotonous, never had any of that in the second one. It looked much better, felt much better playing it, and yeah, it was a game I sort of, it's not many that I see through these kind of long ones until completion, but this one I definitely did, and I'm glad I did. It was pretty awesome for one that I played this year. So that's
Yeah,
why
it's one of the
it
ones
was on
I
my list.
enjoyed as well. When I haven't played it fully, but it's one of the ones when we went to the gaming event, I was surprised how good it was
Yeah,
when I did it. Because obviously, I know the first one was a bit of a letdown, and the fact that actually the second one took so long to come out, eventually when it has, actually was quite.
And they
bit
come out
enjoyable.
pretty good. Because I played a little bit on my own and with you, Gray, and I enjoyed it for what it was. I never got back to playing it after we've sort of finished our co-op session with it, but yeah, it was a good game. It was very,
in the
very
competition, it was
enjoyable.
pretty fun, like taking on some of the giant bosses and stuff as well. I thought it was all right. Although it made it a lot easier. One distracts while the other pummels. But I mean, it was still good fun.
Very nice, very nice. Dead Island 2 there. After many travails and issues coming out, it finally released and turned out to be pretty damn good.
I was going to say, sorry, I'll mute myself whilst I ask the question. What was the weapons like? Because a big red flag for number one with me was the amount of how easy it was for the weapons to break. Like you had a baseball bat and it would break after like 2 hits. So, like durability wise, was it okay or was it still a bit?
It was better because you could upgrade them a lot and repair them, and you got sort of like special ones and stuff. And as you did certain missions, if you kind of went and did like certain side quests, you kind of got super sort of elite-ish kind of ones, and there was quite a lot of different variants to sort of get hold of as well. So yeah, there wasn't. You didn't have to worry so much about them breaking so much because you could get them repaired, and you could have quite a lot of different ones all at the same time to sort of switch between. So yeah, not the same sort of issues in this one.
Very good.
Very nice. So Dead Island 2 there for Graham. We'll move around to you, Specialist Pete, while Ross has dipped out quickly. What's your third pick for the year?
I have made a tactical decision to swap number 2 and 3 around.
Whoa!
Whoa!
on the
I know,
fly.
I know.
Last
On the
minute
fly.
swap. Oh,
I
my
know,
God.
last minute swap for the win. So my number 3 pick for the year is Mortal Kombat 1.
Finish him.
The
Nice.
the fighting genre is one I don't really kind of delve into. I've never really been into kind of like Street Fighter or Virtua Fighter or any of that. But Mortal Kombat's been the one fighting game over the years where I've always kind of played the one. And this year, I mean, they're just since I think it was 10. Like the cinematic, the campaign, the story, the cinematic story is just absolutely awesome. Just for a fighting game, the cutscenes don't deserve to be that good. I mean, I don't know if Ross, if you played through 10 and 11, the story mode of Mortal Kombat, like in terms of the story mode, in terms of how long the cutscenes were. But Mortal Kombat 1 just ramps it up a bit more. Just like the quality of it. Oh God, I thought I was going to say now. The only kind of negative point for me was the Megan Fox voice acting. It felt very kind of reading from a script, monotone. Wasn't great, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I mean, graphically,
I mean, that's
the fatalities were great, brutalities were great. It was just it's. And also had the new invasion mode where you basically had like a big old map and you had to work your way around a map and defeat bosses, and like all these areas had different stipulations. So one fight you might have to start with half health. The next fight you might only do 50% damage to the opponent, or they might do more damage. So it kind of kept things interesting. It kept things back, and you know there are kind of seasonal different costumes and stuff which you can kind of unlock as well. Obviously, there is a store you can buy stuff, but you can just generally unlock stuff by playing it. I think the only character that was behind a paywall this time was, obviously apart from the character packs, I think Shang Tsung was the only person behind a paywall, which was you can get it if you pre-ordered it. You know, all the other skins, all the other characters, I could say, like your Montaros and all that, you could just unlock by playing the game and leveling up your profile. It kept them bringing me back for more, you know, and because it's nice.
So were the fatalities and stuff easier to pull off this time, or were they still?
Yeah. I mean, again, you could pay for the easy fatalities, which I find quite funny that people do spend money on that.
That would be me.
But I mean, you can just finish him, press pause, go right, just finish him, press pause, and then just okay, right, I've got to go down, left, back, circle, or B even.
Whoa!
Sorry, just, back, the fatality is fantastic. I'm gonna, start playing again now. The new character pack is out with like Omni-Man and all that.
Very nice. Very nice indeed.
Omni-Man. The guy from
Invincible.
Invincible.
It's on Amazon Prime. Go watch it.
It's fantastic. I watched the first few episodes the other night. I was like, let's see what it's like. I did not realize how brutal it was.
I'm not going to watch season 2 until the second half of the thing comes out because I'll just watch it all in one night.
There we go. Never heard of it.
And if you need
have you watched The Boys? Watch The Boys and Invincible.
Isn't it
Both
from The Boys in there as well?
Like on the Amazon Prime.
Homelander's in The Boys. Homelander's in it as well.
Glenn from Walking Dead voices Invincible,
and J.K. Simmons does
No One. I didn't like him.
Fair enough.
Becoming very soon, Graham, as we said before, Peacemaker.
Yes.
You can finally Anyway,
Rambo as well. I think Rambo's coming.
It's got to go for us before Graham explodes. Tell me your third pick of the
year. So coming in third place for me was there was a few different ones, but this one sort of creeped in just for the fact of the franchise that it came from. So I've went for Star Wars Jedi Survivor. So building on Fallen Order, Fallen Cal Kestis. It's a Star Wars game. It was always that automatically made it at least a 7 out of 10 for me. And then just the landscape of it, sort of Cal coming into his own as being a Jedi now, not this sort of like reprobate on a junk planet trying to come in it. He's now sort of mastering what he is. I like the fact that they introduced all the bounty hunters and things like that. So Vader makes an appearance and things like that in it. So they sort of ticked enough of the iconic Star Wars stuff to give you the throwback type idea. But they added the new system in regards to weapons, so you can have sort of like a blaster lightsaber combination, dual wield, double bladed. So you've got loads of different options in regards to how you want to play the game. Just it had everything that Fallen Order was so great with, and then added layers on top of that. So really enjoyed it. I think I'm maybe a couple of hours away from completing it. It's just such a good game. So much to do in regards to like the side missions, as I'm saying, all the bounty stuff that you can do, all the customizable like lightsabers, outfits. Just absolutely loved it. Loved the storyline in regards to sort of like the fallen Jedi type idea. It's always good when there's like a character that's been good and then sort of turned to the dark side. Not just necessarily in Star Wars, but anything where it has like a protagonist that's been good and then has been dragged to the evil side. So one of the best Star Wars games that I've played throughout any of the arcade ones or any of the sort of Force Unleashed. Really enjoyed it.
It needs to come to EA Play.
Well, yeah, it will eventually. But really looking forward to sort of finishing that off. Hopefully, if not end of the year, starting next year, I'll be finishing that one.
Yeah, 'cause I saw it on sale and it was like
Is it not on
42
EA Play
quid.
already?
I was like,
Thought it was.
The first
still
one's on
too
the
much.
EA.
First one is, but not the second one yet.
Like
Second
today,
one's-
there was yesterday there was that daily deal with Valhalla. Today there's like a 70% off. I think it was. The base
Well,
game was-
it came out in April, and usually EA games are sort of 6 to 9 months after they launch before they drop in EA. So you're looking starting next year, sort of early mid spring type idea before it comes in.
Fair enough. Fair
Lovely.
enough. Very nice. Nice. So a bit Star Wars. Was it called? Sorry, what's it called?
Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Jedi Survivor. There we go. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Right, let's go to Graham next then for number 2.
Number 2, well, it has been discussed before. No matter how much hate and scorn people was on it, it was definitely a game I enjoyed, and that was Starfield. That makes my number 2. Yes, it has its flaws. You're right, but I mean, you can't pick a Bethesda game that didn't start with quite a number of flaws.
I will join Graham and say my Starfield was also number 2, so we can talk about it together.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, it didn't hit the dizzying heights that we all wanted it to, and it didn't make my number 1 for that reason, that it just slightly missed the mark. There was a couple of things that Pete kind of drew on that could have been done a bit better, but for the amount of kind of content and deviation you can do if you want to do, the amount of exploration you can or want to do is still there. The options are there, and the stories, even the side quests, I mean, they're still pretty sort of detailed, and there's quite a lot of depth you can go into if you want to go into, and a lot of the different faction stuffs are quite varied and different, and I mean, it still makes I found it sort of a highly enjoyable Bethesda game. The combat was all right. It wasn't terrible, but it was enough. I mean, you could have had a different kind of styles other than guns, but I mean, that's why you kind of eventually develop powers, which can really sort of flip things on the head if you sort of find the best ones or ones that you want to work with. And I mean, there's ones that slow down time, ones that kind of flip them on their head, ones that kind of make you go invisible, ones that kind of make, you can shoot fireballs and stuff. So there's a variety of different kind of powers. I mean, there like 20, 30 different kind of powers you can kind of make use of.
Yeah.
So there's plenty to kind of choose from. Not all of them are kind of attack-minded. Some of them help you sort of gather resources or help you predict what people are going to say. So there's quite a few to sort of play around with. And that one was quite a unique one to sort of know what the person's going to say to help control what choices you should say. It was quite a cool and neat addition to sort of add in.
A question for you and
Yeah.
Ian.
Yeah.
Did you guys build an outpost?
Yes.
Yes.
Damn it.
Not fully utilised.
No, I
didn't
fully used mine. I
utilise it, but
got mine for most of my.
I got one to harvest resources and stuff, but I mean, you can just get resources elsewhere. They could, I mean,
That's what
It's
I
the
mean.
same with Fallout. You can build shelters here and everywhere. I still didn't. Just because you can doesn't mean you want to.
No, and I found at the end of the day, especially when you start getting a bit more rich, and you just need to buy the resources that you want. So eventually, I just end up buying most of it. But yeah, I didn't build up a few. I think built a couple of outposts and stuff. But did I really utilize it a lot? No, because obviously I was rich and I just I just bought all the stuff I needed. But for me,
I think it's a missed opportunity.
I think for me, I really enjoyed
was
it.
to utilize it when you do New Game Plus, where you get all your resources are reset back to 0. If you know the right planets to kind of build outposts on, is a way of sort of getting some quick resources that you needed to get back to where you need to be to progress that bit further again, because it's quite hard starting from a blank canvas each time.
Yeah, I think for me as well, like I really enjoyed all the side missions. Most of them were like, but the main ones, we'll say. Obviously, there's always a few shitty side missions, which is obviously hiccups, miscellaneous. Kind of the one where you kind of join the Crimson Fleet, you can go against them or you can join with them. I found that was really kind of one of my favorite ones in the whole franchise. Obviously, spoiler warning for everyone watching this who haven't played it yet. Surprisingly, you haven't. Where there's a twist where one of your companions dies. That came out of nowhere. I didn't expect that happening, and that was really good.
See, this is the thing. I don't think the game kind of earned the right to do that. That makes sense.
What do you mean?
Like, because only because I said that I didn't feel a connection to it in the companion, so I'm like, oh, okay. Like,
okay. For me, I did, because obviously I was kind of had Sarah for ages, and then she asked for more time, and I went, "Fuck you," then, and I went to the other one. And then obviously she died, and obviously as a twisted man I am, I gave all my clothes to my companion.
Yeah,
that was fucked up when you sent me that.
Oh yeah, hilarious at the same time. So for me, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I couldn't put it down. I did all the side missions. I haven't found GD yet, to Jay's disappointment. But I think like all the shipbuilding stuff, that was good fun. Obviously, I think I got the narwhal in the end and just customized the narwhal, and that was just, even though you couldn't really move.
You fucking loved that narwhal.
I did, because you couldn't move in it, but it was just such a tank. You just
you
stood
fucking
there,
loved
really,
it,
and you just destroyed everything for me. I didn't have to do anything really. But every now and again, I'll just shoot the missiles and it'll do it for me. But yeah, I think I enjoyed the storyline. I kind of the main one. I think the Crimson Fleet was my favorite. The main one was still quite good, enjoyable. I think out came a few, like I said, the plot was out of nowhere. I didn't really utilize the powers, and the powers in the game was absolutely shit, which everyone agrees on. It could have been so much more better. We even not even needed, like, example, Skyrim, just walk up to the corner and get the powers. You don't really need the mini game. It doesn't add anything to it.
If they wanted to have some sort of challenge to get the powers, they could have had like a little maze or something where you got to fight some enemies or solve a couple
like
of
a mini boss
puzzles.
battle.
Yeah,
or even like a mini
floating around.
clip
Going
of a tutorial
back,
how to
like,
use it.
Going back like 5-6 years, look at Mass Effect Andromeda when you had to get to you had to put that little Sudoku, didn't you, to unlock the temple? Something like that would have been great.
Yeah, so I mean, I agree. There is its flaws, like always, like with most games, like with most Bethesda games. There's obviously a few glitches. Obviously, you surprised had way more glitches than I've ever seen. Which I'm not sure what happened to your copy or whatever. Because obviously, for example, when you couldn't get into the ship, and then I launched for you, and I got in straight away.
Oh yeah, you got
that was bizarre.
So I was like, I didn't understand it. I thought maybe it might be in your save or not, but as soon as I did that, I went straight away without any issues. So I'm not too sure, but for me, yeah, it's not quite my number one. It was me number two. But okay, I really enjoyed it. I couldn't put it down. I did all the outposts, did all the shipbuilding and stuff. And for me, yeah, a lot of fun. And again, I didn't really utilize the powers because I didn't really need to, because I kind of enjoyed more just kind of shooting and kind of getting my way through that way. The stealth bits was fun, some fun stealth bits. My favorite one still was the one where I was trying to be stealthy, and all of a sudden, I think it was Sarah at the time, just popped her head up and started shooting randomly.
Oh yeah.
What is
it with you and companions that just can't help but fire off a few shots?
Yeah, always trigger happy.
It's like the side mission, the corporate side mission. Like, you just don't take a companion with you.
Yeah, I told them to fuck off. Like, just stay in the ship.
Yeah. You stay there, don't move. Even like the weaker one, the Region one, that was still good, enjoyable as well.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, yeah, number 2 for me, Starfield, as long with Graham.
Yep.
Fantastic title.
Very nice, gentlemen. I've got a feeling we might be hearing a little bit more about Starfield very shortly. So we'll move on from there. Feel free to chime in when it comes up again. on whoever's list. I don't know. I
Oh,
can't
to
possibly
think that
imagine.
Football Manager 24 isn't my game of the year.
We've still got 2 picks from you yet. Right, I'll jump in next then quickly. My number 2 is probably to no one's surprise. My highest rated game of the year, Trine 5. The Clockwork Conspiracy. Really, really enjoyed it. As I spoke about earlier this year, it was sort of took what I loved about the Trine series, the physics platforming and puzzles and the lovely sort of fairy tale visuals and music and cheesy but entertaining enough story and stuff. And it just almost perfected every single aspect of it. You can play it in co-op. I haven't played it in co-op yet, but when you do, it changes the puzzles and layouts and stuff. So you have to work together to solve them. Whereas on your own, you can just flick around between the different characters to solve the puzzles yourself. Yeah, really enjoyed it, start to finish.
Is it couch co-op or is it more like
It's
online?
couch and online co-op.
Oh, okay.
And you can play because there's 3 characters you can play as. You can play as three player co-op where you just pick a character each, or you can play 4-player co-op and you can all just switch back and forth between whatever character you like.
How does that work?
Yeah,
just-
because that
well,
leave something out.
Well, no, you literally just you can have 4 Amadeus or 4 Zoyas.
Oh, you get 4 of the same
Ah,
character.
Oh,
Right,
for
right,
the
right,
same
cool,
character.
cool.
Yeah, you
Okay,
all
that
just
makes
mix-
sense now.
mix
Everyone else
between
is
the
like-
characters.
It's
Yeah.
something
Just
you said
one
nice.
person on
So
the
one
bench.
person just waiting all the time.
No, yeah, it doesn't matter. You can all have the same character or whatever. But yeah, really, really good game. I wish more people would play it. It's sort of trite to say it would be a good Game Pass game, but I think something like Game Pass would get in front of more people.
Yeah, because I think I was looking when you mentioned it, and I was like, I think I've just looked again now on True Achievements. Like under 1,000 people have played it, so
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, it's not getting enough exposure. So like I say,
Yeah.
it's surprising how much Game Pass gives exposure to the game, and that's from what your rating you gave it. It should go to Game Pass because it would make it will open up people.
I'm surprised they haven't at least put some of them in because I think they're all out on Xbox now. They started off not being, but I'm pretty sure they're all there now. In fact, no, there is. It's a collection of the first 4 games, and then the 5th one come out.
Yeah, the 1 to 5
yeah,
is
really,
on
really, really good. Really well worth playing.
I think
Well,
it's
even
like
if it's
40 quid, sorry.
yeah, and my kids quite enjoy playing Trine 3 with me. I think because that's slightly different to the others, but. If your kids are like you were saying, people like Unravel, this would be like a great game to go on from that because it's got that same sort of physics-based like co-op, help each other out, but there's a bit more to it, and I think they might dig it if you ever get around to playing it. Or we could just play together, all 4 of us. One of us would have to sit out. I'm sorry.
How did you feel you made that a bit awkward there, Jay?
I mean, I don't think all 5 of us went online at the same time anyway.
Exactly. We'll figure something out. But yeah, my second game of the year, number 2 spot, I should say, is Trine 5, The Clockwork Conspiracy. Very, very good. Very, very good game. Anyway, Pete, I believe we haven't heard your second one yet.
No, we have not. My number 2 spot goes to Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Realms of Ruin. Wow, this game absolutely blew me away. It almost made my surprise, but I wanted 2 different games in the surprising game of the year. Another RTS that Ross used to go play. Even though the controls aren't optimal, they're still fucking great. This is probably the first RTS game that's actually had like an amazing kind of brilliant cinematic campaign. Obviously, games like Age of Empires go through they have like a little history kind of buff before you go into it. The old Red Alert days. So the first time I played an RTS where I'd been enthralled into the story and like, the cutscenes. Obviously, the Red Alert days, it was all kind of live action with a bit of bad acting. This was like, I was like, is this an RTS game? I had to double check it was an RTS game at first. But yeah, it had me hooked. Just easy-ish controls. Yeah, the campaign was great, and the thing is, the campaign as well. You're not stuck with playing one faction. There are 4 different factions in. It's quite Realms of Ruin, should I? Or Warhammer. There's 4 different kind of factions. There's kind of one goody 2 shoes. And there's 3 kind of baddies, if you like, and you get to interchange between in the campaign, so you're not just stuck playing the goodies. You do take turns playing the other factions, so that you get a bit of variety. Got a conquest mode, which is similar to what I talked about with Mortal Kombat, where you've got these kind of like it's like procedurally generated kind of like maps, and I kind of started it over 10 times, and I got a different kind of map every time. So it's just endless ways of being able to play the game, and something that I wish I had the creativity to do, but it's got the map editor, which you can, the community are very creative. Like some of the maps they come up with, you can use that to download and play with skirmishes, and you can play them online. But also you can do something which I thought was quite neat. Actually, you can actually, because you know what Warhammer's about. You're painting your little figures and create little files. You can create your own little scene. So, like, you can, if you want to, create your army, and you can put your own custom color on them. You can then put them on a map against an enemy, and you can just put them in different poses, like as they're fighting, they're retreating. It's just like there's so much in this one game. It's not even a 4. I think it's like I think it's a £50 game. Hang on.
Yeah, I'm currently on the store looking at it, seeing as you recommended it.
So for £50, you get a lot of bang for your buck. And like I said earlier, it's a game made by Frontier. As Ross alluded to earlier, like it looking from the outside into the Warhammer franchise, I'm like, oh shit, do I need to read up on all this lore of the past? But there wasn't at any stage I felt like I needed to delve into the history. It was very kind of generous in that way. So yeah, if you like,
it's one of those things. When I read your review, I thought, I'll just try to download this one.
Well, I mean, with game share, so you might.
So now you mentioned the word editor, and any game that has an editor in it, my son would absolutely love, because he seems.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's the one control bit the one bit that lets it down on console is the controls can be a bit finicky with the map creator. But I'm sure some of the more brain power than me could probably figure it out. But yeah, you can, mountains, and you can do whatever. It's just like it's crazy amount of shit you can do.
RTS is never my my go-to kind of game, but
yeah.
From reading the review and stuff, it seemed like, actually, this could be good kind of a...
I mean, I'm reading the ratings on it, and the first one that comes up saying it's not quite Battle for Middle-earth 2, which is probably my favourite RTS game of all time.
Yeah.
But it's up there. Automatically, like, pricks the ears up, because Battle for Middle-earth 2 is a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah, and this is, like I said, I absolutely love this. I'm going to put this on my number 2 now, because, again, it's a game that I'm now going to go back to again. Try and complete it on the harder modes, because I just went through the campaign on normal. Like, I failed quite a lot of times trying to get through the campaign, but it's figuring out different strategies and what units to use and all this and all that, and it's just a bloody great game.
Just needs Tim Curry in Red Alert.
But no, if you enjoy RTSs, then I mean, Frontier obviously put F1 Manager on Game Pass, so maybe next year at some point you might see it on Game Pass.
They have said that it... Go on, yeah.
Sorry, I think they did bring one of the Warhammers to Game Pass. I can't remember which
Game
one.
Pass has had a few
That wasn't Frontier one. That was like an FPS game.
Was it? Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, well, I think a couple of the FPS games are on there, but this is like an RTS game.
I'm going to sidetrack just in another type of idea, because I know it sort of ticks into the same sort of idea. But have you played the Total War Warhammer?
No.
Pete,
this is my first Warhammer game that I played.
This is like another one that sort of like ticks all the boxes for me in regards to the type of game I would like to play. But again, it feels like you're stepping into the great unknown.
Yeah, because then Warhammer 40,000 Darktide is the one they've got in Game Pass at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was another one. I forget what it was called. There was that and its sequel which came to Game Pass, which were like, again, Graham's favourite, Left 4 Dead style Warhammer games, which I think Darktide is as well. Like a co-op shooter type game. I installed that, but I haven't played it yet. That'd be a fun one to try maybe in January or something. But Pete, can you give us the title of Warhammer before we move over to Ross, because it's a long fucking title. And
Warhammer. So it's Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Realms of Ruin.
Super Ultra Deluxe Edition Hyper Turbo.
No, that's the thing. Another thing, like
X3.
Obviously, another thing I love about Frontier is there's no need to battle passes. There's no buy this cosmetic for £10. It's just there's your £50 game. Fucking have at it.
But I'm looking at
it. Hasn't sold massively well, so it might even come into Game Pass, like you said, be more of a incentive to do so.
So I was looking at it.
If it'll beat Jurassic World, that was a piece of shit.
There's another one from the Age of Sigmar as well called Stormground, but it was done by Focus Entertainment. So obviously they shat the bed in it, I'm presuming, and it's been passed over to Frontier, and Frontier.
Frontier, like I said, Frontier. I said earlier, they're smashing it out of the park. Warhammer, F1 Manager, Jurassic World that Ian loves. Even going back to Sea Tycoon, they're creating
Planet Coaster, which was good.
Yeah, exactly. The Tycoon Coaster. They've got now a catalogue of games that are just absolutely superb.
I just didn't realise they did Elite Dangerous as well. Surprised. I didn't think that was fun too.
They did indeed. They did indeed. They're not too far from us. I think,
isn't it?
Not massively close, but not too far from us. So we'll swing by one day and be like, "I love you." Chicken Speed is your favourite.
I just hope they think that I wrote it now and not Jamie.
I know. I forgot to change the name. I'm sorry. I'm so used to not having to do that anymore. Anyway, I certainly didn't play it. Pete did the honours there. Anyway, Ross, let's get your number 2 out because we need to get fucking things on the road here.
Shifting. I'm going to go for another one that's maybe a wee bit left field, and it's one that was going to be my biggest surprise. But it's jumped into the number 2 spot, and it's Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh,
well, exactly. You get to run around and just murdering folks. Fucking brilliant. No, I was like, I didn't pick it up for me. My wife is a massive Harry Potter fan, and she's like a dabbling gamer, so she can manage like Fable in the most basic settings type idea. So I thought, right, we'll pick this up for her and see if she can manage it. And she enjoyed it, and she thought it was quite fun. I was sitting watching her play it, and I was like, that actually looks like quite a good laugh and things like that. So I ended up picking it up, and before I knew it, I was 40 hours in. So I was like, shit, how the fuck did this happen? God damn you. I thought it was fantastic. Like the story of it, I like this sort of plot twist type idea with the character from your sort of Slytherin brethren. I like the fact that the Sorting Hat picked you based on like your choices and stuff. So no shock the Scottish boy ended up in Gryffindor because just Billy Big Balls up top. So no, I really liked it. Thought the artwork was really cool, like the dueling type idea of it. I liked all the different variations in the spells. I would have liked to have Quidditch in it because it is like a big part in Harry Potter, but I can understand why they might have like added it in later on, even though they've not done it yet. I liked how it took it all the way back, like a long time before everything else. So you had a completely neutral base to start on, where it was like goblins that were the big bad type idea, or the main bad, and you weren't sort of relying on name value of sort of Dumbledore, Voldemort, Harry Potter, Ron, Hermione, things that everything was unique to the game. Obviously still had some areas that were relevant to the books and the films, but it tried to stand on its own 2 feet instead of just having to rely on name dropping and things like that. So I really enjoyed it. I liked the fact that there was dragons. Anything with dragons sort of gets like an extra couple of points for me. But like I say, it was probably going to be my biggest surprise of the year of how much I enjoyed it. But it's earned its place in my top 3 for games of the year.
Very nice. My eldest is a big Harry Potter fan too, and she's been playing it nowhere near as much as that. But every now and then she'll get stuck, and I go and help her like clear a fight or do a tricky part.
You done the puzzles,
like you said. Yeah, I've done a couple. I don't remember what they were.
Puzzles are good.
I actually quite enjoyed it. I would quite like to play it on my own. I think I'm not a Harry Potter fan the slightest, but the sort of combat and traversal and the setting is very well done.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I like it for the fact that you don't necessarily need to be a Harry Potter fan to enjoy it, because there's no Harry Potter references. There's just the Hogwarts world.
It's got the name, but not the character.
Yeah. So oh, nice. So Hogwarts Legacy. I have a feeling, considering the controversy around it, that you might be one of the only people who pick it this year. But good work, sir. Good work. Someone's got to represent.
Damn right.
Like I said, it was a good game from what I've played, the little I played of it anyway. Right, we're at number 1. So before we get to number 1, I realise we're going quite long. Anybody got anything else they want to bring up before we rapid fire this? Is everybody excited for GTA 6 on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Trailer 1. 2 o'clock Tuesday afternoon. Up for us.
30-second video.
Please don't get overhyped. Just
Yeah.
otherwise it'll be literally disappointing.
Yeah, it's going to be like a fucking transition, and that's it.
30-second video. You're basically going to see the Miami Strip, GTA 6. The logo's going to pop up on screen. No idea the game, no idea the gameplay, no idea the release date. It's just going to be confirmed that GTA 6 is coming out.
Yep. About that.
You heard it here first.
The trailer to announce the next trailer.
Yeah, exactly.
Please be excited. Yes. Well, we'll see. We'll see. IGN are doing a post show, so I've got I don't know whether they know something we don't know yet. Maybe it's more in depth than we're expecting, but it's also just because it's GTA 6. They're gonna have a post show about
What time is it on?
single image. It's 2 p.m. The trailer kicks off.
Ish!
Ish! On Tuesday.
Oh, you got too excited.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We'll have to,
No.
Anyway.
Jake lost it. I was going to say ish as well.
Anyway. Let's move on, shall we? Let's round this bad boy off with our number 1 top tier ultra super duper extra edition pick of the year.
Shall I just smash my one at the park? Just to,
go on then. Let's start with
Pete
Ross.
crumble.
And we'll stick to the route we had the first time round. Ross, give us your number 1 top tier game of the year.
EAFC, go on.
Biggest disappointment with it. To the surprise of absolutely fucking no one. A game that you knock out pretty much 100 hours consecutive of like running off the first 40 hours with about 2 hours sleep is going to sort of get your game of the year come hell or high water. And Starfield for me absolutely smashes it out of the park. I take on board
sorry?
Starfield.
Yep,
Starfield. I completely I agree with everything Pete says in regards to shortcomings. There's no denying it. I'm not sitting there with my Bethesda coloured spectacles on, but the enjoyment that I got out of it, out with Pete's sort of very valid points. I loved it. The different styles of missions in regards to if you want to do the sort of corporate espionage for the Ryujin stuff, the I would almost say Mass Effect type missions for the UC in regards to this sort of alien based threat. The Space Cowboy, if you want to, the Freestar Collective, or even being sort of the criminal enterprise if you want to go down the Crimson sort of the route instead of trying to just play them off as you're trying to be part of them. If you want to go full on baddie, then you've got so much options in regards to that. It's beautiful to look at, like the actual scenery of it. I don't care that some of the planets are barren. If you think of our solar system, to take it on a very small scale, there is one planet that has a diverse biome to it. Everything else is one type of idea that's very barren, nothing else on it. So to me, it's a very accurate representation of what space is. So I don't know why you would be complaining about an accurate representation. I love this. Like, I love the idea of the crafting of your spaceships and how many different options. Like, there is no limit to what you can build. And is it a little bit fiddly, I would say, to build your spacecraft? Probably. But you are literally limited to your own imagination as to what you're building. Even before the game came out, you had fucking people building the Megazord out of fucking Power Rangers.
Did you see the one where they built like a cube?
Yes, it was like a literal cube. It couldn't be shot because the whole middle hitbox was empty. Yeah, fantastic. Like that's the same. Like you can, if you can imagine it, you can pretty much build it. And I don't know a game that offers that level of customization in regards to that type of area. The outposts, I know you touched on it earlier and didn't really jump into them. I have 10 like different things that I wanted to do with my outposts in regards to like laying them out and stuff like that, but just for the simple fact of resources to make your spaceship, like the outpost management is fantastic, especially when you can automate it all. Like you, some of the videos that I'd seen where you literally everything pre-generates by itself, and then you've got, I think it's basically the subframe type idea you can make, and that gives you all the building crafts that you need to make forward.
Yeah,
and that
even like you could do like build like a base on one planet and go to Venus, jump forward like a couple of hours.
Yeah, because of the way the hour system works. Yep. So it very much like Fallout. Fallout did a similar sort of idea as well, where you could sort of cheese the system in regards to like getting all the stuff that you need based on just your camp. The uniqueness of how they did New Game Plus type idea, where you had different interactions based on how many times you played through the game, different things changed in the game, different stats based on your character, for the fact that every time you load up a new save, you get different things happening. Something like that's never been done. Like your New Game Plus was literally you start a new game with all your same gear, but the storyline and everything's exactly the same. Whereas they dared to be innovative and try to make something different. And it's flawed. There's no two ways about it being flawed. But they were big enough to take the challenge on to do something different. So hats off to them for that. And with every Bethesda game, and it's maybe a cop-out, but the game only gets better when they start allowing the general public to mod it. And I can't wait to see what Starfield's like when you start introducing mods. I don't think like Skyrim wouldn't be able to have launched as many different versions as it launched without having like Nexus mods to do the PC side originally. Then they started doing the Creation Club side, and then all the mods that got added into that. That game would have died a painful death a long time before, even today. There is like the Bethesda servers went down for Skyrim, and there's outrage because of the fact that the mod central isn't available for the game. That's a game that's what? How old is Skyrim now?
12 years at this point.
12 years old, and you still have such a demand because they have the mod system in to have such a fervent player base. Same with Fallout.
Do you think Starfield can get to that place?
Yeah, wholeheartedly. I think they can add to it with DLC. I think they're only going to make the game better. And you could argue, why was the game not better when it launched? And I completely understand these statements. But you name me a Bethesda game that had outstanding companions, because there hasn't been one. Fallout didn't have great companions. Skyrim didn't have great companions. They were there.
Don't you besmirch Lydia like that, you?
Lydia was the man.
She was sworn.
Serena was
She
better.
was sworn to carry our burdens.
Serena was better, but we won't say anything about it. They were literally there to carry your excess goods. That was all they were there for.
Carry your burdens, yeah.
Exactly. So it's not a game like, and then Fallout done it a bit better because you had like loyalty quests that you could go and do like full storylines for them and get like a certain perk by unlocking their loyalty and stuff like that, which they built upon. But none of the characters in Fallout 4, for example, were mind-blowingly great. So I wasn't expecting the companions to be outstanding. I expected the gameplay and the main story to be great, which in my eyes, that's why it's my game of the year.
I think you made your case fair enough there. Like I said, I'm definitely more towards Special Guest Beat side, but I can't really rebut anything you've said there other than to say, how dare you besmirch Lydia once again? That's outrageous.
Lydia was shit. She dies so
Outrageous.
easily.
She did, but she was.
You're obviously a bad companion yourself, then. You know,
Ela the Huntress was the best one.
His tools, you know what I mean?
Did you see? You were talking about New Game Plus there. Did you see the story a couple of days ago where a player found themselves and recruited themselves as a companion?
Yeah, you can find you can find yourself in, like, when you open up the doors to the constellation the first time, instead of Sarah being standing there, it's you.
So, I don't want to say, obviously, say broken promises, because it's not a broken promise. But there was a point in the WhatsApp group where, Ross, you were so excited. Oh my god, you can get like 150 companions. And then I played the game and I was like, oh yeah, Ross said that. I said, but why? Yeah, you don't need that many, do you?
No, but I think it was more the crew that you can recruit.
But you can't have them all on one ship, because when you said that, I was like, oh shit, I'm going to get a ship the size of the Normandy, and I'm going to have 100 crew.
The Normandy's not big.
All at their stations. I'm going to chat with all of them to say hi, make them a cup of coffee, interact with every single NPC. You know,
damn right.
That's what I was. That's when you put that text in the WhatsApp. That's what I was envisioning. Yeah.
What was it? What game was that G was bitching about in that? They don't talk to you.
That
was Sky.
Oh, was that?
Yeah.
That's why he doesn't like it.
I
That's
mean,
why he's
that's
leaning more towards Jay's side.
that's not exactly what I said, but yeah.
Why will you not talk to
We'll
me?
keep going with that. We'll keep going with that.
I feel
That's not what I said,
neglected.
but we'll keep up the charade for now. So anyway, so the number one for Ross is Starfield of the Year. A very good game. Just I mean, it obviously hit his highs, didn't hit some people's highs, but as you said, DLC and mods and stuff they'll bring, I'm sure they'll keep it going for quite some time yet. Nice, Graham. Let's move around to you, shall we?
Yes.
Numero uno, the best game you've played this year, and if
We
you
gonna
don't
do
pick a
guessing
good
or
game,
not?
I'm going to be livid.
Are we
Well,
playing a guessing game or not?
oh,
I mean, we can try and guess. I must admit, I'm drawing a blank at the minute.
I mean,
you're
I went
thinking
as Scooby, to be honest.
maybe like the was it Tales of whatever it was you were playing?
that
Tales
was
of
this
Arise,
year.
maybe.
What
Was it
about
not?
Like a Dragon? Has any new ones come out this year?
He's already mentioned that.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, there's
he's
more.
he's very, very warm.
Oh,
has
Is it
been
the
mentioned already.
Like a Dragon one?
Yeah, it is that. But which one was it? It has
Oh, it
been
must
mentioned.
be Ishin
Ishin,
then, no?
then.
Ishin?
That's the
Oh,
one.
Ishin?
It was released earlier this year.
Ish.
Ish.
Yes. So
Ish
Like a
here.
Dragon Ishin, yeah, that was early this year, wasn't it? So go on and tell us all about it.
Um, so as normal, it is a Yakuza game which has everything around sort of the interesting combat, lots of different procrastination, but it's not about Yakuzas and gangsters and stuff. This time they've gone back in time to sort of a sort of samurai era, and you play. I can't remember what they got names from that era because it's based off of. I'm not sure if it's like a real story, but it's a story of sort of a soldier that kind of stood up to like an evil empire and kind of challenged them that way. And you play as all the characters from the Yakuza series pushed into that old story. So your main guy is the character, but it is Kiryu, the guy from the Yakuza series, as the main character. Bizarrely, it's one of the first Yakuza series that actually has you in one of the fighting styles with a gun, which is not that common. Usually it's kind of like fighting, and as Jay saw, there's two different ways of kind of fighting usually, but it's usually three types, like a fast one, a middle one, and an aggressive one. But this one, you've got like just a sword-based kind of combat, a wild dance, which is a sword and a gun, or just kind of you can play like with larger weapons, like big old spears and stuff like that, and even a cannon at one point if you unlock it further on. But yeah, I'm an RPG fan and a Yakuza fan, so this kind of already was going to pique my interest, and it did, and I saw it all the way through to completion. The stories around it, I mean, I enjoyed the story anyway. I had no idea about the original story it's based on, but it's definitely pretty awesome with the same sort of quirky stuff they like to slap in anywhere, which is bizarre. But yeah, if you're an RPG fan or a Yakuza fan, this is just an interesting, different take using the same kind of format, but just set in a different time period. And it's just as kind of great as the Yakuza games are. Lots of different sort of procrastination things, side missions, things that distract you from doing the main kind of
Are there any feudal Japan arcade machines?
I think yes. The only thing it's kind of missing, they've kind of got like a weird different what's it called, plinko instead, where the thing drops down and you win prizes, kind of like that, kind of old school kind of games instead. But yeah, great fun, and an RPG that Eve took it above Starfield in my eyes is just because I mean they've got a format that works and they keep it pretty tight, and they didn't really fail too much with this one. It's great fun to play, and he keeps all the characters from the Yakuza series and just redresses them up as in this kind of old style period. So it's got he's playing that kind of guy. It's just weird when you recognize all the characters from the other kind of games, because it's got people from the Lost Judgment series as well as a couple of people that appeared in the Like a Dragon, the later ones. But it's got a lot of the original ones from like 4 or 5 bad guys are kind of the bosses from like Yakuza 0, 1, 2, and 3. It's interesting sort of seeing them reshaped into a different story. But
Very nice.
yeah, definitely one for if you're a fan of the Yakuza the series, but even as a standalone game, because it's not tied into the story as such, is quite a good one to play through.
Oh, very nice indeed. Yeah, I must admit, when I was looking through Game Pass the other day, I did think about installing that one because, like you said, it's a side one rather than a main line.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe I'll try that one at some point before Zero or something, and see if that one sucks me in like my
might do.
name. But
I think you would enjoy Lost Judgment more than you would these ones, or Lost Judgment 2.
yeah, I did start Lost Judgment. That's another one I tried, and I just couldn't. It just didn't grab me. But again, that was maybe it just needed a bit more time. But yeah, very nice indeed. So, Like a Dragon,
Ish in.
ish in.
Fit it in with the ish as well.
Nice. All right, Ian, let's move on to you then. Your top pick of 2023.
Cool. We're doing the guesses, or we're just gonna go in?
Don't be too excited.
My two guesses would have been Hi-Fi Rush or Deathloop. So, and you've already said those.
Yeah, no,
so.
I'm.
Oh, hang on. No.
Oh, wait. Here we go. It's got to be the Wake,
it's
isn't
a cross-platform game, isn't it? Is it going to be Zelda Tears of the Kingdom? Or Pokemon?
No, you said that one.
Oh, did he?
It's got to be the Wake.
Either Pokemon or Alan Wake. Yeah.
There's no Pokemon game this year.
Yeah, Alan Wake could be up there.
Alan Wake 2, yeah.
Yep. So as we all know, it's taken them 13 bloody years to bring out the sequel, and that is correct. It is Alan Wake 2.
Alan Wake.
Brilliant. Like, for example, me, who's not very good at playing survival horror games and any kind of horror to begin with, Alan Wake 2 does it fantastic, to the point where I was kind of trying to guess the jump scares, and they just happened. And it's like, for fuck's sake, you knew it was coming. And it's like, you to the point where you have to pause. Okay, we get yourself back together. Come on, you can do this. And then play. And I think the whole supernatural element and the fact that they've completely kind of reworked the gameplay from the first one to the second one to make it a lot less to do with all action oriented and kind of just like blasting an enemy and then shooting them. It's more like, survival horror. You got kind of like I say, survival. You've got limited bullets and stuff, so obviously you've got to take your time. It's rather than trying to think, okay, these enemies are going to attack me, but there's a light source towards the end of the road. So let's just avoid the fight and run, rather than actually trying to kill these people that are trying to attack you. I like the fact that there's obviously a new character called Saga Anderson. So she's been brought into this game, and you play as her or Alan. So Alan's obviously trapped in the dark place in the original one, and obviously
spoilers.
Everyone played that like 13 years ago.
I'm not playing it now. Fuck it, that's it.
So yeah, you play as Alan and Saga. Obviously, there's a few things that happen during the game, and I do kind of like the fact that elements there regarding it. I won't go too many spoilers for an upset Pete.
We've already ruined the game.
That's it. We're in the first game, not the second one.
I don't need to play the remaster anymore now. Thanks. It's fine.
Outrageous. Dude, definitely play the remaster because it's absolutely fantastic. If the remaster came out this year, I might have given it my top pick. But yeah, I think I'll say I don't want go on too much tangent about it, but I feel like without trying to get into too many spoilers, they've done some really good jobs into bringing in the other games as well. For example, the janitor in Control plays a part of it in the game. Obviously, he played a huge part in Control if anyone's played it. So it's nice to see him kind of in it, and they've kind of incorporated the worlds between the games. And it's just so good the fact that they've kind of meshed these worlds in together. Like they call this Ultra World experience. And they've done it. As you say, Xbox International, perfect way of saying it is amazing. The kind of supernatural elements are there, great, and the fact that it's still the same kind of play. You got to flash enemies and then to get rid of their armor before you can actually shoot them. I like the fact that they've got more locations as well, so they kind of got this kind of open world element. You've got 3 different areas which you can go in and explore as much as you want. I kind of like the fact they've got the kind of it's still kind of spooky because obviously they've got the kind of water rising, and if you kind of clear an area and kind of get rid of this kind of dark element in the area, the water kind of sinks. So it allows you to kind of explore more of the area. The musicality is fantastic. Some of the kind of cutscenes, the way they kind of separate the game. So obviously you can play between as much as you want. For example, if you want, you can play as Alan all the way through until you get to his kind of point on every turn. Then you can play as Saga, or you can kind of go in between as much as you want. So for me, I kind of went between chapters. I kind of went between Saga and Alan rather than playing all through once as one person or through the other.
My main memory of Alan Wake 1 was, the gameplay wise, was you had to shine a torch to defeat an enemy. Is it the same kind of thing?
Yeah, so that's the same.
Shining a torch. you got big batteries and small
To
batteries.
shine the torch to kind of, again, all battery dish, to shine the torch and that kind of get rid of their kind of dark presence armor. Which then
You're still
allows
getting
you
chased by a tornado.
there's odds every now and again. There's a few things you get chased by. Won't give. But yeah, they got Jay's favorite, which is not the greatest, but they've got a Resident Evil style loot system, inventory system. So obviously you have like square blocks where you want to put the weapon in. Because to me, ages like I wanted to get this. Like, I think I had a rifle and I wanted to put it into my inventory. I was like, well, I've got space. Why am I not going through it? But no, you've got to move this little thing up there. So there's a 4 in the line before you can put it in.
Yeah, a little bit of a Tetris thing going
Just
on.
putting
Nice.
out there, if I wanted
Nice.
to play Tetris, I would play Tetris.
You can play Tetris while being
Shit,
scared.
shock horror. I don't want to play Tetris inside my game.
And the one good thing about it as well is obviously they've got these things called, I think, for Saga and for Alan, they called it different names, but for Saga one's the Mind Palace. That's kind of where you kind of, because she's a detective, kind of work how you want to do, what you want to work out, what's happening in the storyline. But that doesn't pause the game. So I don't think I did it once, but I was like, oh, quickly need to kind of see where I need to go next. So I kind of paused it to go into a Mind Palace, check the map. I thought, okay, quick, go to the case board to kind of see what I need to do next. And I went unpaused, and there's a massive guy there about to swing a fucking massive axe at me. I was like, oh, fuck. Freaked out, because obviously he doesn't pause time. So you're like, shit, what am I doing? Then you've got to try and run to the light before you get killed. So yeah, brilliant game. The storytelling is amazing. I can't wait for the DLC to come out late in next year. I feel like they're going to bring out, I think they're bringing out 2. And it's just, oh God, it's just brilliant. I love how they've incorporated all the worlds into it. And yeah, I think all the new characters they've added are absolutely brilliant.
Very, very nice indeed. As we said before, one that I'd like to check out. I didn't like the original, but I would definitely like to try this. Especially now you mentioned more Resident Evil. Resident Evil style stuff.
I think they literally, very rarely do you get like a sequel be better than the original. Alan Wake 2 is definitely one where the sequel far, far trumps the original.
Very nice.
It's not hard to be fair, but yeah.
Oh, shade.
Whoa. All right. Well, thank you very much. So far we've had Starfield, Like a Dragon, yes, and Alan Wake 2. All right, I'll jump in next, and we'll save special guest Pete for last.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure he's got a spicy pick. Does anybody want to take a wild guess and stab in the dark at what my game of the year might possibly be?
Pikmin 4, probably.
Oh, don't.
It's going to be the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
It's not going to be just Sonic. Otherwise, I'll throw my. Otherwise, I'll come out and grab your balls in a minute.
What's left of them? Yeah. Graham, did you have any thoughts? I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Probably Pikmin 4.
No.
You are correct.
No.
It is indeed Pikmin 4.
No.
I realise that I run an Xbox website and this is an Xbox podcast, but the most fun I've had with a game this year by far is Pikmin 4. Much like Trine, they took everything about the previous games, sort of buffed it up to a shine, perfected it in almost every way, and I've finished it in about 40 odd hours. And even now, despite the fact that 100% of it, I still be like, maybe I should play it again. Maybe I've got all these other games to play, but maybe I should just play Pikmin 4 again. I loved it from start to finish. I loved the change to like having the upgrades and stuff. Having what's his name, Ochi, with you. At first, I wasn't sold on his inclusion, but then the more I got used to him, and the more he gets upgraded and stuff, he's actually a really handy companion as well as your Pikmin. The level layout is awesome. Bringing back the dungeons is awesome. And Nintendo are very good at sort of giving you a game, being like, "Here's the game," and then you get to a certain point, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, here's something else," and then you get. Oh, by the way, here's another mode, or here's an extra thing, or here's something else to do. And you think you finished the game? Actually, there's more to do now. It's crazy. And yeah, I just loved it from start to finish. My only nitpick really is that you can't have 100 Pikmin from the start. I would have liked to have had 100 Pikmin earlier. It takes quite a while to be able to get the 400 Pikmin out in the field.
Yeah, but that's the challenge, Jay. That's the challenge.
Exactly. That the way they design the game.
That lets you then go back to the previous maps and go, right,
Exactly.
I've now got 60.
Exactly.
I can now get that mushroom.
Yeah, they designed it to incorporate the fact that you had a limited number of Pikmin rather than like because I just played through Pikmin 1 remastered and I'm about halfway through Pikmin 2, and they're very much designed to have 100 Pikmin the whole time, whereas Pikmin 4 again very much set to limit it and sort of ease you in until you get to a certain point where you can have 100 and you can have
Don't forget
Ochi
you got
and you
glow
can have
Pikmin now as well.
and you can have your glow Pikmin. I didn't really enjoy the night missions, I must admit, but
Glow who? What? Where?
you don't have
Yeah.
to do
Yeah,
them so
but you
much.
could use them in
you
caves, though, couldn't you?
you could use them, and they came in handy for the final boss. Certainly, that was a
It
good
did.
When
thing.
you're
But yeah,
touching
Pikmin
stuff
4.
like
Pikmin
So-
4. It was.
So,
It
Tam,
was.
sorry to interrupt. So, did Zelda not make your top 5 at all?
You'll notice there's a distinct lack of Zelda on this list,
Shit.
because of
Played it.
like Ian. I just haven't had time to play it.
Yeah,
I've
the
probably
same
put about
boys.
4 hours in, and I actually started playing it again this week, hoping to get more into it to maybe include it, but I just haven't had the time. It's a really
just
good game.
I feel like it could be
Really,
good.
really good game.
But yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I
need
think
more
if
time.
I had played it more, it probably would have been in the number 1 spot. But yeah, it's come back to me in January. We'll see how far I get with it.
Yeah. See if
yeah,
we've changed our answers. It's like,
yeah.
1 second
But-
now, the end of the year.
Pikmin 4 was a joy from start to finish. And like I said, I'd like to play it again, but I've got so many other games I should play that are new that I haven't already played. That I'll
Just you wait
carry
to
on
the
with that
first
first.
show next year and wait till it's a 6-hour special of Pokemon
on
DLC.
Pokemon DLC. Yeah, I'm well aware. Don't worry.
Just
I've
you
tried to
just
keep it as brief
wind
as
your
possible.
neck in here.
I mean, Christmas holidays coming up. That's 2 weeks of FM coming up as well, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
What was number 2 again for you?
my number 2.
Yeah.
It was Trine 5.
So Trine is
Fine.
technically your Xbox game of the year.
My Trine 5 would be my Xbox game of the year, but I
On
mean,
the
I
Xbox
like to play.
Tavern
I like
podcast.
to play across
So
across
completely
the board.
ignore number 1.
Yeah.
So just pay attention to number 1 because it's the best game anyone has ever
Was-
played this year.
To be fair to Jay, Pikmin 4 is a very, very good game. Very,
Damn right it is.
I couldn't put it down from start to finish.
Damn
I'd say
right.
it's
Put
definitely a
myself
number
down from
2.
playing it.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever looked at playing it.
It's, honestly, they're so good. It's a demo on the Switch. You go check it out yourselves and make your own mind up. But I won't go on too much longer because we're going on for quite some time, and obviously it's not an Xbox game. But Pikmin 4, number 1 for me.
He has
Until I
8
carry on
minutes
playing
to
Zelda.
discuss his number 1 pick.
No, this is a 4-hour podcast. I've got like an hour and 10 minutes.
So, special guest Pete, you're finally back with us. We're going to use you to finish off this wonderful episode of Xbox Tavern, which record each and every Sunday at 8 p.m.
Just going to
Nearly
say
midnight.
this before we go any further, Pete. The last time that you made a presence on this show, it was to ask a question on a quiz. If your last game takes half as long as your question on the quiz, you're gone.
By the way, that's never my idea to those questions. By the way, that's never my idea. I think it's crazy.
No, he forced me. Anyway, special guest Pete,
Next quiz.
deliver me your number 1 of the year.
You guys want to have a guess?
F123.
I'd say football manager of some description, perhaps, but
F1 manager? No, you said that already.
Yeah.
I'm trying
Have
to think what else I know you.
Yeah, F1 Manager was my
Yeah.
number 4. My kind of
That was
Oh,
yeah.
It was, wasn't it?
It won't be
Yeah.
F123 because surely
No.
that's not that great.
no. I haven't played it. So I've been
yeah,
commentating on it. I haven't actually been playing it.
think
I haven't
what-
touched. I haven't got my wheel out in about 14 weeks now.
I can't think what you.
That's how much I'm enjoying F1.
Oh, it's not the one you're playing recently.
Oh, yeah, it could be that one of the RPGs that you took a shine to.
I thought you just wanted to cheat and play Cyberpunk. But
Oh, no, that's I don't know if the DLC bit counts as the game of the year.
Yeah,
Okay.
Phantom.
Put us out of our misery, 'cause I can't-
So-
I can't think.
Yes. My controversial pick for Game of the Year is Cyberpunk 2.0.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah,
yeah,
Phantom.
Uh,
What
Does that
I know
count?
it's controversial, but
does it count?
2.0 it is basically a new game. Even if you don't buy the DLC, it just opens up a whole new wave. And I've been playing it non-stop for the last week, 2 weeks, maybe. It's honestly, I'm coming home. I'm literally, that's the first thing I've done. Right, sit down. I'm in my work clothes. Right, play it. I've just robbed the credits on the DLC half an hour before we obviously went live here. I mean, look, hang on, I've got the website up here because the game is just so much better now. Like the police obviously upgraded. They can actually, it's got that kind of GTA feel to it when when you actually commit a crime. You can now do vehicle combat, so you can shoot out your car. Combat's now different, more challenging. Hang on. The big thing is the perk tree. So the whole kind of perk tree has been redesigned. So now it's easier to kind of build your character that you want to. It's all segregated into kind of like how you want to build. So like I've been playing as like a stealthy net runner. So I've been kind of net running people, like killing people with like contagion and overheat and all that kind of stuff. But also I had a little trusty knife, just a little ninja. If people try and see me like headshot with a knife. But obviously there's so many different ways you can play. I've seen clips online of people just slowing down time to halt and just literally just punch everyone in the face, clearing out a room in about 10 seconds. Hang on, what else is here? So the perk tree has been done. Obviously you've got all new cyberware that you can install on yourself. Weapons are different. Let's have a quick look. There's so much. I'm not going to read through all of it because obviously there's a lot. But basically, the highest praise I can give Cyberpunk now is 3 years after the release, of its initial release, it is now the futuristic GTA that I think people were expecting.
Is that all it took?
It took 3 years, but now
So in 3 years' time, could Starfield be the best game ever?
It could be, but I think Cyberpunk had. I enjoyed Cyberpunk in my first playthrough. There was something already there that I could get your teeth into. That more with Starfield, because I remember Gray enjoying Cyberpunk as well when it was released. Did you review it? Did you review Cyberpunk?
I did review it. Yeah, I did.
It was in the year, wasn't it? That year.
It was.
Yeah.
I think it was like second or third.
My first playthrough of Cyberpunk back then 3 years ago was I picked the Nomad version. Now I've been picking the I picked the Corpo, and like the amount of conversations you can have by just being from a Corpo background, it makes things very intriguing. And again, the DLC was excellent. Like, do you know what? I'm one of those guys that will play a game, but I don't like to research too much into it, just so I don't spoil too much of it. And obviously, Idris Elba is the big pull for the Phantom Liberty DLC. And I, for the life of me, always thought he was going to be the antagonist. But I'm like, hang on, he's on my side. I thought I was supposed to be killing him. But that's how much I read into it. I just thought I thought Idris was going to be the baddie, but no, he's by your side. His voice acting at the start is a little bit like, it looks like he's kind of read the script before he's kind of watched the scene. But as it goes on, you can tell it gets better. Honestly, I've enjoyed Cyberpunk so much. If you go and play it again now, it's a totally different game. It is 2.0 it's completely new. Everything's new.
Have you watched the anime, Pete? Because that's really good.
I haven't. I've been meaning to. I want to.
Very good. Very, very amazing what they've done in it.
Yeah.
Especially now you've played the game. Once you watch the anime, you think, I recognize that reference. I understand that. And
yeah.
Spot on.
And obviously the thing with the new DLC is it now you can unlock another 1 or 2 endings for the base game. Obviously I won't go into spoilers, but it is honestly I'm even though it's 11 o'clock and I've got work at 6 o'clock tomorrow, I'm gonna maybe play it for an hour or two before I go to bed. That's how I haven't been listening to a game in a very, very long time. It's the reason why I'm not playing Warhammer. It's because this game, I just thought I'd pick it up and thought, let's give it a good go. And I'm like, shit, I can't put it down. Cool. And So
See,
Pete's game of the year, the game that came out 3 years ago.
Yeah. See, I was put off by Cyberpunk because my mate picked up before I did, and he hated it originally. He said it was so bland and empty, and he just thought it was a waste considering the hype, and especially I think because it was CD Projekt Red as well. He had so much higher expectations. So when I heard that, I was like immediately on the back foot. Like, if he's saying it's that poor, I don't know if I'm going to commit to playing it. But having heard what I've heard in regards to the changes they've done for 2.0, it's now sort of really making me want to jump in and play Cyberpunk.
considering you love
And-
Witcher as well.
Well, exactly. That was what sort of put me off.
because Cyberpunk is far superior to Witcher.
It's really not because
Witcher
The
was
Witcher's.
awesome.
You haven't played Cyberpunk, whilst you can't comment until you've played.
Here I
You're
go.
right. You're absolutely right. I can't comment.
You played
That's
The
very true. But
You played
so
The Witcher.
The Witcher is one of the greatest storytelling games of all time.
Until you play Cyberpunk.
It's not going to have the same storytelling.
Witcher now, Ian.
And
You
just
had-
for
hadn't
Jay, I
started
know we
it
mentioned
before,
about Starfield and NPCs. Jay will be very happy to hear.
They all talk to you.
You can talk to every NPC and
Damn right, baby.
You can talk to everyone.
Give me a
Everyone
conversation.
else.
Give me a conversation.
No, I agree.
yeah.
Cyberpunk
Yeah.
is fucking brilliant, and I loved it from start to finish as well. I'm
And now
looking
it's a
forward
brand new
playing
game.
DLC does seem fun. I mean, technically, you are cheating with Bitcoin 2.0 because it's DLC.
I know. I did feel that way, but because it's literally 2.0, the fact, and you don't need the DLC for it to be a completely brand new game. That's why it was my choice because I just.
But the campaign's quite long, though, isn't it? The DLC. It's
It is, yeah. I
campaign.
mean, like I said, I've just rolled credits. I think I've put about 50 hours into it, and I've still got at least half the normal campaign to go. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think
Very
I've
nice.
got a long time in it as well. Remember?
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. So, a quick roundup then before we wrap up this 3-hour podcast. Fucking flying through this, aren't we?
Well, look at that. I finished it on 3 hours. Look at that.
Damn right. Well done, sir. Well done. So we've had Starfield from Ross. We've had Like a Dragon Ishin from Graham. Alan Wake 2 from Ian. Pikmin 4, obviously the Xbox classic from me. And Cyberpunk 2.0 and
Shambles.
its new DLC,
Game
Phantom
came out
Liberty.
2020.
Phantom
DLC.
Liberty.
So
From
you two are a
PSP.
disgrace, but
Outrageous.
well done.
So, we thank you very much for listening / watching. If you made this far, you're a fucking hero. We're going along, so we're going to call it a day there. But we will discuss our anticipated games next week on the final show of the year, I imagine. Who have we got? Sorry, Sour Blow. I know you're asking that question. What we're looking forward to next year. We'll discuss it properly next week, and it'll probably maybe in January as well once everybody's back. But yeah, for now, I guess that's it. The game of the year is done. We got the Game Awards on Tuesday, Thursday. Sorry, GTA 6 trailer on Tuesday, and I'm sure plenty of other news and stuff will happen in the next week or so before we disappear for a nice festive hiatus. And then we'll come back and discuss all sorts of video games, Xbox and otherwise, especially when we played some more Zelda over the holidays. Anyway, and Pokemon, yes. Thank you very much, everybody. It's been a pleasure. I've been Jamie. You can find me at Inexan most places. If you just ask Jeeves, and I'm sure we'll point you in the right direction. And if you're at the Street Bake Bakery in Basingstoke, give them a shout. They're fucking lovely.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah.
this week I've been joined by Scottish Guff Ross. You can find
I'm replying to chat. Sorry.
who you can
I'm
find
replying to
at-
chat. Sorry.
What's
At
your
Scottish
nickname
Gruff.
anyway? He's gone off the script.
What are you on about?
You said his nickname or his
Hey, you
username.
said
Yeah, well, yeah. I'll just, shut up. MPV Graham, tell me.
Graham Reaper.
Ian,
That's Scottish Guff.
you don't get a million now. And special guest Pete.
Peter Kimmich.
Goodbye, everybody. It's been a pleasure. And have a wonderful Christmas if we don't see you before then. Bye.
Merry farewell.
Dubstep, hit it
Merry.
Not so loud.
with the dubstep.